quarterback. Broken bone, the bottom of his kicking foot for Jay Feely. He lets it go, and it's Reno Mahe returning the kick for Philadelphia. Penalty flag comes flying as Mahe takes it out to the 25. We'll check the marker and then hear from the third member of our broadcast team. Here's the fourth, Jerry Austin.
During return, illegal block from behind. Number 98 of the receiving team.
From Jerry Austin to Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Joe. Life has been grand for old Jeff Garcia. He hasn't exactly been horrible in replacement of Donovan McNabb. One reason, he has the respect of his teammates. An example, if a guy makes a mistake on executing a play, Garcia will get all up in his face. Brian Dawkins told me that. He said the team has responded to that and that Garcia does not mind doing it. He's got the fire and he's got that leadership. Back to you, Joe.
Pam, he's tough, he's accurate, he gets rid of the ball quickly, doesn't have a ton of arm strength, but makes up for it by knowing this offense as well as his coach. He says as Garcia throws it to no one in particular. 2nd and 10. We know Garcia and his numbers, his quarterback rating is through the roof since taking over as the starter, and he's been protected by this offensive line, Troy, that has been healthy all year. Not a lot of teams can say that.
That's right. I think that's been one of the real keys for this offensive football team, and the reason that Jeff Garcia has been able to have some of the success that he's had. Other than Donovan McNabb, they've really remained pretty healthy on the offensive side of the ball.
Westbrook gets it. Westbrook picks up 3. He's now 2 yards shy of 1,000 for the season. And we look at the defense. We watched O.C. Umenyiora come back last week, Troy, second game back, and it seemed like in the second half he really took a big step forward in getting off the ball quickly at right defensive end.
Well, and one of the things that he did a better job of last week that he had not done in the Dallas game was contain the quarterback. That's going to be key here again in this ball game because Garcia is at his best when he's able to break, contain, and get outside the pocket.
3rd and 7. High snap. Garcia, a nice job, and now he'll run. Come up well short of first down yardage. The ball comes out, but the whistle had blown, and Garcia was ruled down. There is no fumble. It is 4th down at the moment.
Well, it all started with the bad snap. Garcia didn't even have an opportunity then to try to look down the field and make a play. He just took it and tried to get what he could get. Not even close to picking up the first down, and clearly down before the ball came out.
Whistle blew. Umenyiora picked it up and started to run, but there is no fumble. It is 4th down. It is a 3 and out forced by this Giants defense. Dirk Johnson had a very good week last week at Washington. It's a knuckleball, and it's Morton on the return. Room to run. Chad Morton down the sideline. Gets a block brought down from behind, in great field position for the Giants. A 38-yard punt return for Chad Morton, his longest of the season.
Well, this is what the Giants have been needing. Field position is going to be a big part of this ball game, as it is in any game when it's close. James Butler, 37. He's the guy who made the key block that allowed Morton to get to the outside. The teams here, the return team, doing a very good job of getting on bodies. And then Morton having one of his better returns in recent games.
Yeah, his longest of the year, 38 yards, and now a first down for the Giants. Starting at the 21, out of the backfield, Tiki Barber. Good throw by Manning. Hit him in stride. Tiki good for 5. Let's go to Chris Rose for a game break.
All right, Joe, the Bears clinch home field advantage throughout with a win over Tampa. They were up 24-3, but Tim Rattay off the bench hits Ike Hilliard. It's his 3rd TD toss of the game. We're tied at 31 with $1:30 to go, and the Bucs have the ball. We'll keep you updated, Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Chris, thank you. So the opportunity there to seal it up right now for the Bears after that New Orleans loss, and they've blown a lead to the Bucs. 2nd and 5. See if Mike Patterson is guilty of coming across too early. Giants think he is.
Kurtzman, 97 defense. The result of the penalty will be a first down.
They get Walker. Patterson came across as well. And the result of the penalty, first down Giants.
You know, we saw a lot of that last week. Eli Manning, when he was going against the Carolina Panthers, using snap count to his advantage to try to neutralize that rush. Now, the Eagles have not gotten as much pressure on the quarterback, but anytime you can mix up cadence to keep those guys from getting a jump, go ahead and use it.
Saw Sean O'Hara, who's out with a sprained ankle. Typically the center, cut back by Barber. Touchdown, New York.
You know, Joe, this was the one thing Jim Johnson has been very concerned about. You're going to see Tiki Barber. He's going to start to his front side, and everything's bottled up there. He cuts back here off the block there of Jim Finn, and there's just nobody there. The gap control and discipline of this Eagles defense has not been here over the last 6 weeks.
Feely makes it 7-0. This Eagles defense has allowed 186.5 yards per game over their last 6 efforts. And you said it at the top. Tiki Barber would be an important piece of the puzzle for the Giants today. Morton, turns out, is as well. He gets the return 38 yards to set it up and put the Giants in great field position in a game they need. And they made good after this effort by Morton.
Well, when you're able to get a punt return like this, it's basically the equivalent of your defense forcing a turnover, because you get the short field and an opportunity then to get a drive going on the offensive side of the ball. Now, the big concern, as I said, is that cutback lane. There's probably not a better cutback runner in the National Football League than what Tiki Barber is. I know Jim Johnson over the years has said that giving up run yards is not a big concern of his, but giving up big plays is. And over the last several games, as you talked about coming into this game, the number of yards given up by the Eagles defensively is a result of giving up so many big plays.
Remember, Seibert is in at center. We mentioned O'Hara out with a sprained right ankle. Seibert has never started at center, and he was part of the crew that opened up that cutback hole for Tiki Barber. Good kickoff by Feely, who's been getting better and better with a broken bone in his kicking foot. So now Jeff Garcia, who we saw for 3 plays and out, first possession, and his passer rating has been over 100 in each of his 3 starts. 7 touchdowns, 8 overall since taking over for Donovan McNabb, sacked only twice.
You know what I thought was amazing, Joe, is in visiting with him, and he said the only 2 teams that showed any interest in him this offseason was the Philadelphia Eagles and the Houston Texans. And it surprised me because obviously he was willing to come here and be a backup. And you think of all the teams out there that could have had an opportunity to bring in a guy like Jeff Garcia, who has won a lot of games in this league. The Eagles obviously fortunate to have him this year.
Quick setup and throw. Dante Stallworth hauls it in and picks up 4. You know, one thing we saw just there, Troy, on that first play, Westbrook was split out to the bottom of the formation or the bottom of the television screen, wide to the right. They moved Westbrook all around, and while this Giants defense a week ago limited Steve Smith, their main objective today is to try and slow down Brian Westbrook.
Well, he's the real key to this offensive team. I mean, he's the guy who can make a touchdown and go the distance each and every time he touches the ball. He'll be key.
And they flip it to him. Out in space, gets a good block. Picks up a first down. Greg Lewis with a great block from the wide receiver position, and he sprung Westbrook for 10.
Well, I think so many times we talk about what these receivers can't do instead of what they do. And one of the things they do a great job of is blocking in the running game, as we saw right there. It allows Brian Westbrook then to get out on the edge. And again, Will Demp's coming up trying to make a tackle, but not before the first down.
Over 1,000 yards now for Westbrook. First time he's done it. And for the Eagles, first time they've had a back go over 1,000 since Deuce Staley did in 2002. This is Buchalter. And Corral picks up 4. He's the changeup back to Westbrook, who's averaging over 6 yards per touch this season. And here comes Brian right back into the lineup.
Yeah, and they want to give Corral Buchalter more time today. Over the last 3 games, he's not carried the ball all that much. He's a very physical runner, as you said, a good change up to Brian Westbrook. But, you know, as we talked about, Brian Westbrook is the guy who they're going to ride and try to get the ball into his hands. He's had it 20 touches over the last 7 consecutive games.
A blitz from the Giants, and Westbrook has it skip into him as Garcia was under pressure. Kiwanuka was coming.
You know, I think the other part of Brian Westbrook that is somewhat surprising, I think everybody's always concerned with the pounding that he takes. And he had the knee injury early in the season. He misses a lot of time during the week. He doesn't practice all that often, but he's only missed 1 game. And so he's far from being 100%. Not that a lot of players are right now. Certainly Michael Strahan's not. But he's been able to show up on Sunday, and he's been very effective.
3rd down and 6. 3rd down and 11.
72 off there. 5 yards. It's still 3rd down.
William Thomas guilty of the false start, and you can tell by this crowd they know what's at stake. They are into it from the beginning, and their team gave them a good start with a 3-and-out defensively, a good punt return, and 7 quick points. LeVar Arrington, part of the standing and walking wounded for the Giants. Garcia flips it. Westbrook out of the backfield, and Brian Westbrook has Philadelphia with a safe 1st down. Although they don't give him much forward progress, they do give him the 1st down, however, by the nose of the football.
Well, and you see Jeff Garcia limping just a little bit. As I said, he's able to move around, but boy, does this guy take a lot of hits in a football game. Right there, Kiwanuka comes off his block and puts a helmet right into his back, but not before he's able to get the ball to Brian Westbrook. And that's not an easy throw right there for Garcia to make across his body with a guy running away from him. Good delivery for the 1st down.
Picked up 11 on 3rd and 11. Handoff is to Westbrook, who's out to midfield.
You know, in visiting with Marty Morningwig, I asked him, because of the fact that Brian Westbrook has been banged up so much, you know, this season, if there's any concern as far as once you get into the game and trying to limit his number of carries. And Marty said, we worry about that Monday to Saturday, but when Sunday rolls around, if he's in uniform, we just go out there and call plays and try to win a football game, and they're not worried about overusing him.
2nd down and 4. Garcia wide open as Brown. And Reggie is to the 30. And Garcia is doing what he has done the last couple of games. It's not always pretty, but it's effective, and he's moving his team down the field.
Well, this is a good route right here. Reggie Brown, you're going to see at the top of the route, he drives R.W. McQuarters off. And then because of the fact he was able to threaten him down the field, that's what created the separation when he ran the square in. Jeff Garcia was looking his way the entire time. Reggie Brown, as you said, he's a guy who has gotten better each and every week.
Eagles handed to Buckhalter. Corral picks up 8. Antonio Pierce on the stop for the Giants, and I'm impressed by what the Eagles are doing here on their 2nd try with a football. They took the right cross across the jaw from the Giants with a quick strike, and now Garcia at 3rd and 11 tossed Brian Westbrook, a big play on this drive.
Yeah, and I think that you know, that's kind of Jeff Garcia. I think that the team right now, offensively anyway, is really kind of following his lead. I mean, he's a tough guy. He's resilient. He never quits. And you can bet that regardless of what happens today, they're going to keep fighting, keep competing.
A little pump fake from Garcia. Now he throws to Westbrook. 1st down. Westbrook started the play, split out wide to the right, and Garcia bought time within the pocket and found Westbrook for 13 yards.
Yeah, right now, even though they have been able to knock Jeff Garcia down a couple of times, overall they've not gotten a lot of pressure. You can see there the offensive line doing a good job of forming that wall. And then Garcia, you know, he's got great vision for a guy. I mean, he's not an overly tall guy, but when he's able to have lanes and look down the field, he's got good vision in finding open receivers.
Handoff is to Buckhalter. Corral picks up 3. You know, one thing talking to the Giants, they say, first of all, you have to contain Garcia. You have to get pressure on him. But because Garcia is so good at moving around even within the pocket, let alone getting outside, it puts a ton of pressure on these defensive backs to stay in coverage and on these receivers for an extra long time.
And that's what we've seen a little bit of already. And it also puts a burden on this defensive front. In the process of trying to get pressure on him, you've got to be disciplined enough to stay within your lane so that he doesn't get outside the pocket.
Rolls right. Nowhere to go with it, so Garcia tiptoes down inside the 5, and they'll mark him out of bounds at the 4.
You know, I think that's some of what the coaches were talking about when they were talking about Jeff Garcia and the way that he has played here over the last 3 games. And in place of Donovan McNabb, overall he makes good decisions. We talked about the fact that he has not thrown an interception. Not that defenses haven't had opportunities to make plays, but they have failed to make the catch. But yet, for the most part, he doesn't put his team in jeopardy by the decisions that he makes.
Ball is at the 2, not the 4. An official gave him a couple of extra yards and a handoff. Buckhalter, touchdown. A drive laced with precision from Jeff Garcia. Big yards from Westbrook. A 3rd and 11 conversion to Brian Westbrook, and a touchdown run by Correll Buckhalter. The extra point coming to try and tie it.
Yeah, watch Todd Harriman's there. He's going to pull. He's going to kick out right there on the nose guard, Fred Robbins, and that's what opens up the lane for Correll Buckhalter to just come right off of that block.
First rushing touchdown of the year for Buckhalter. Akers has not missed one all year. 40 for 40, and it's a 7-7 game.
Well, that's a good drive there by the Philadelphia Eagles, taking that ball and driving it down the field and then capping it off with a pretty good play. A little misdirection action by Jeff Garcia. Try to get the defense moving one way. They pull the left guard Todd Harriman to kick out. But I think that's what the Eagles needed. You know, as you said, Joe, they get down 7-0, and then for them to be able to bounce right back and respond to tie the game on the road in what is a very meaningful game for both teams. Very impressive.
You know, the story of Garcia is an interesting one. The 3-time Pro Bowler. Really the only guy that championed him and wanted to get him in this league was Bill Walsh. He saw him at San Jose State and brought him to the 49ers when he took over as general manager. Then he goes on to be a 3-time Pro Bowler. We ran into him last year while he was with Detroit, and talking to him now, you asked him a very important question, saying, would you come back to Philadelphia next year with a healthy Donovan McNabb? And I believe his answer. He said, I'm happy. I'm in a spot where we have a shot at winning. I believe in this team. And even if I came back next year playing behind Donovan McNabb at the start, I'd come back to the Eagles.
Yeah, he's 36 years old, and he wants to be a part of a winner. He's been a starter for some bad teams in recent years, and that wasn't too much fun for him.
Ward will wisely take a knee. So now Eli Manning, who has had a much better December this time around than last year. His last 2 starts, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. A quarterback rating of over 102, and for the 2nd time in his career, the first time this year, back-to-back games with no interceptions. Last December, a quarterback rating of 64, 4 touchdowns, 7 picks. A much different story here in 2006. Play action from Eli, who has all day, and finds Tiki Barber, who is swallowed up by Omar Gaither after a gain of 2. Again, it's Rich Seibert starting at center. Last week, he played at tight end, center, and guard. He said, I was bad at all 3 positions, but here he is making the start at center for the injured Sean O'Hara. And the guy in the middle, Plexico Burris, I think a lot was made out of a quote that really didn't say much other than he believes he's ready for a big day against this smallish Eagles secondary. 2nd and 8. And off to Tiki Barber. Darwin Walker is there for Philly. A gain of 1, 3rd and long coming up for the Giants. The defense up front. Darren Howard has been a disappointment in his first year with Philadelphia. 4 sacks, only 1 in his last 8 games. But today, Troy, he's playing across from Bob Whitfield as opposed to Luke Pettigrew, who was there the first time these two met.
Well, that defensive front for the Eagles, there's no question that there's a lot of pressure on them to get after Eli Manning because they've not done a very good job here in recent games, whereas earlier in the season, that was a real strength for this defensive unit.
Giants had a chance at a quick and easy 5 yards, but they didn't snap it. Burris can't make the play, but a flag comes flying. Rod Hood was defending, and they are going to call a defensive hold in coverage, which would be an automatic first down.
Well, they brought pressure, so they're locked up outside man to man.
Number 29, 5 yards, automatic first down.
And it was just after the 5 yards there is when the flag was thrown. Now, I know Roderick Hood, he's a good player. He could be a starter for a lot of teams in this league, much like Al Harris, who's now with Green Bay, was the 3rd corner for this franchise for a long time before he became a starter. They've always had good corners and good depth at that position here in Philadelphia, and he's another one of them.
Hand off to Tiki Barber on first down, picking his way through this Eagle defense. Picks up 10, and we go to Chris Rose for a game break.
All right, Joe, once again, Bears with a win, clinch home field advantage throughout. In overtime, Tim Rattay to Alex Smith, who's fighting for extra yardage. He gets stripped, and the Bears recover. So that would set up a 37-yard attempt for Robbie Gould, and they missed it. They are still in overtime. We'll keep you updated. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Robbie Gould has had such a good year pulling that one. That game continues. Barber's last run, good for a first down, and now Manning throws into tight coverage. Good pass, good catch, Burris. It depends on the spot as to whether it's back-to-back first downs. It is good for a fresh set.
Now, that was a good job offensively for Philadelphia on that play. They went to an empty set, and then they got Plexico Burris basically working one-on-one there, and Eli Manning delivers a perfect football. And you know, you talk about Eli Manning and the job that he's done in recent weeks. They've not gotten a lot out of their passing game, but as we have said, and as he told us, he's making good decisions, and he feels very good about the way in which he's played the last 2 games.
Hand off to Tiki Barber, has room to run. Another cutback run, and Tiki picks up 9. Sean Considine on the tackle for the Eagles.
You know, Tiki Barber in their first game in week 2 was really having a hard time getting untracked within the running game. Did not run the football particularly well until they got into that overtime. But here, Dhani Jones just unable to get off the block by Jeremy Shockey. And again, Tiki Barber being able to bounce that one. That one's not the cutback that hurt them earlier, but at least he was able to bounce it to the outside and pick up yardage.
2nd down and 1, and a toss to Tiki Barber, and he loses yardage. Tiki lost 2. Trent Cole came up and made the stop for the Eagles. 3rd down for the Giants.
You know, and as far as the Eagles defensively, that really is one of the big surprises of this football team. Jim Johnson, in my opinion, one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. He has always done a great job of putting his players in a position to get after the quarterback and create turnovers. They were doing that early in the season, but for whatever reason, and I don't believe that it was only due to the injury to Javon Curse, they just have had a real tapering off of play there on that side of the ball.
3rd down and 3. The pass to Burris. Can't make a play. A lot of hand checking with Rod Hood. Turned around and the pass went off his hands. 4th down and a punt coming from New York.
Well, and that's a disappointing drive right there for the New York Giants. They had 2nd and 1, and then they had 2 plays. They lost the yardage there on the flip to Tiki Barber, and they failed to convert on 3rd down. Think back to the 4th and 1 play against Dallas 2 weeks ago. Failed to make that play. And then last week on a number of occasions failed to convert on short yardage situations. That was another example of that on that possession.
Don't let that stat, punt average for Feagles, fool you. He's had a very good year. especially in downing the ball inside the 20. Best in the history of the NFL of doing that. And he does it here as Mahe hauls in a 31-yard punt, no return. We look at Jeff Garcia, 3-year starter at San Jose State. Then was a backup to Flutie with Calgary of the CFL before winning the Grey Cup MVP in '98. Signed as a free agent by the 49ers. Puts together some good years there, and the last two with Cleveland and Detroit have been years that Garcia would like to forget. And he is doing his best, Troy, at erasing that memory by playing so well here for the Eagles.
Well, and he had played so well there in San Francisco. Even he said he was surprised that he did not come back the following year at San Francisco. Never dreamed that his last game in San Francisco was going to be his last game, and then he'd like to just forget about the last 2 years.
Handoff is to Buckhalter, and Corral picks up 11 and a first down. You see what they do with Westbrook because there's such a focus on him. They line him up wide. He goes in motion like they're going to reverse it to Westbrook, hand it off to Buckhalter, and he goes untouched for 11.
Well, he is such a good player. I mean, he had a number of injuries that have slowed his career, but you know, he's finally healthy and making some real contributions to this team. He's actually a faster running back than what Brian Westbrook is. He's not as quick as what he is, but he's very, very much faster than what Brian is.
On first down, Garcia hopping around back there, hits Westbrook. Jabril Wilson makes the stop and a gain of 5.
Yeah, you know, Jeff Garcia and the fact that he was able to come back here and play as well as what he has here in recent games. And, you know, he really feels the reason for it is that the coaches here, whether it's Marty Morningwig or Andy Reid and a number of others, they hold the players accountable, and they hold them accountable to know their assignments and be prepared to go out and practice. And as obvious as that sounds, that wasn't the case there in Cleveland or Detroit. So he's had a lot of fun over these last 3 weeks.
Handoff is to Westbrook. It'll bring up third down. I thought it was awfully telling. He talked about his year in Detroit where he would leave practice, go around to the different lockers and look and see who took home their playbook at the end of the day. So there were so many guys that needed to, yet so many guys weren't taking their work home with them or seriously enough. A reason why the Lions have struggled so much over the past handful of years. Well, it was a fast start. Tiki Barber scoring a touchdown early for the Giants. The Eagles answered on a touchdown run by Buckhalter, 7-7 after 1.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
It is the second quarter now at Giant Stadium, a 7-7 game. The Eagles faced with a 3rd and 5 at their own 29. Garcia floats it, pass incomplete. Will Demps was sizing up Brian Westbrook and pulled up when the throw was too far for Brian. And it's 4th down for the Eagles. So now the Giants defense turns the trick on Philadelphia, and it will be Dirk Johnson to punt it back to New York. Boy, Demps, we saw that collision about to happen right down in front of us. Had Westbrook been able to get his hands on that pass, Demps was going to unload. Johnson, beautiful punt. Morton from about the 15. They've been hoping for better yardage out of their punt return team. So far so good, an 11-yard return there. Next week, what could be a very important matchup for the Giants will happen here in the Meadowlands. The Saints are here, and then late Arizona and San Francisco. Fox is America's most watched network for the NFL.
And a tough loss today by the New Orleans Saints there at home against the Redskins. You know, they come off that big win against Dallas, and then they gave a game back here today with what most would view as a weaker team.
Ray Rugemer, number 65, is announced as an eligible receiver. And a toss to Tiki Barber. Penalty flag comes in as Barber gets wrestled down, and that'll be a flag on Dhani Jones. Shockey says use your head.
Like he always does.
Oh, yeah. First of all, Shockey has not been thrown to in the first 2 possessions.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Holding, number 76 offense. Personal foul, late hit after the play, number 55 of the defense. The penalties will offset, replay, first down.
So Chris Snee is guilty of a hold, and Dhani Jones gets away with this.
Well, that was the Dhani Jones late hit, and then here's the shot, Chris Snee, and wow, I didn't really see too much on the Dhani Jones play as far as where he was on the sidelines, but offsetting penalties, and they'll get a chance to replay it.
Opening minute of the second quarter, a 7-7 game, and a 1st and 10 for the Giants. Manning fires for Shockey. There's his first catch. First time Eli has looked his way, and a completion of 8 yards.
Yeah, and this is a pretty good picture here, as you're going to see the job that the Giants do offensively along this line, and how there's just nobody really getting anywhere near Eli Manning until after he's gotten rid of the football. On the back end of that, Jeremy Shockey doing a good job right there of working back to the quarterback. So many times you see the ball in the air and the receiver wait on the ball. That time Jeremy was able to go get it and make the play.
2nd down and 2. Tiki Barber, 1st down and more. Out across the 45, knocked down at the 49. And it looks like another week where the Eagles defense is going to have a tough time slowing down the opposition's running game.
Yeah, I think when any game when Tiki Barber gets going early in the game, that's trouble for a defensive unit. And right now, I mean, we've talked about it in previous games here with the New York Giants. They are generally an offensive line that is very athletic. They don't move a lot of people out. They're not a big physical offensive line, but they are very well coached. Pat Flaherty does a great job as the offensive line coach. But right now, they're creating some seams for Tiki Barber.
Brandon Jacobs gets it out in space with blocking in front of him, and Brandon Jacobs picks up 9. So a 14-yard run by Tiki Barber, then they split out Jacobs and get some blocking out in front of him. Nice pickup on 1st down.
You know, and as big as what Brandon Jacobs is, and as we've said before, I mean, last year he was primarily a goal line short yardage back. This year they're using him a little bit more in some different ways, but each time we've had a Giants game, he comes out in pregame preparations and he runs wide receiver routes. It's an element of his game that he wants to get better at. Took advantage of it on that last play.
Still has only 11 catches on the season, and now it's Jacobs losing the ball, and Considine recovers for the Eagles. Sean Considine comes up on top of it, and Brandon Jacobs, after a big run, put it on the carpet, and the Eagles take over.
Yeah, and it was a really good run by Brandon Jacobs. I mean, he made some moves here and was able to pick up good yardage, and then the ball just came out. Brian Dawkins is the one who put the hit on him, but it didn't look like he got his helmet on the ball. Looked like he got it maybe there on the shoulder, which then created the fumble. But Sean Considine, who has become the starter here over the last few weeks, was there to make the play on the recovery.
Brian Dawkins, who made 2 huge plays at Washington late in the win last week, forces the first turnover of this game, and on 1st down, a handoff is to Westbrook. Westbrook brought down by McQuarters after a gain of 11. And now a penalty flag comes in at the end of the play.
Boy, that came in late, too.
So Jacobs loses his first fumble of the season.
Still first down.
So they get Hank Baskett on a hold and wipes away an 11-yard run by Westbrook.
Well, Westbrook, I mean, he really showed the quickness that he's got on this run. He was bottled up and then just shot right through the hole. We don't get a look there as far as where the hold took place on Baskett.
Saw Baskett get part of the arm right in the lane where Westbrook came through. So it was a part of the play. And it takes away an 11-yard run, makes it first down and 20, and the ball is back at the 17-yard line. Fake toss to Westbrook, and Buckhalter crosses the 25 to the 26. Second down and 11 coming up after a run of 9 yards.
You know, right now the Eagles, they're running the ball pretty effectively themselves. I know coming into this game defensively for the Giants, they have done a good job all season long in terms of shutting the run down. But the Eagles, who, as we all know, like to throw the ball certainly more than what they run it, but here today they've been pretty balanced and they've been effective running it.
Second down and 11. Garcia with plenty of room hits Baskett. Beautiful catch over the middle, and Hank Baskett, guilty of the hold moments ago, is good for 19 yards from Garcia.
Well, just a great throw by Jeff Garcia. Baskett's going to be going down the middle of the field, and it's actually pretty good coverage there by Kevin Dockery, but a well-placed ball by Garcia is able to fit it in. Hank Baskett is a guy who's not gotten a lot of opportunities here in recent games, but when he has had his chances, they really like the way he catches the ball.
On first down, a little one-handed, left-handed grab by Westbrook. Good for 2. And we go down to the field and say hi again to Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, Michael Strahan said he is ready to play, and he's told Tom Coughlin as much. Strahan told me before the game he went to the coach's office to ask him to play in this important game, but Coughlin said, no, let's wait one more week. Strahan has been out 6 weeks with that foot sprain. He's hoping that injury streak ends there. He's hoping to be in the lineup no later than next Sunday versus New Orleans. Back to you.
All right, it would be an enormous presence back in there defensively for the Giants. Kiwanuka and Umenyiora, the defensive ends now, and this one with nowhere to go with the ball is thrown right into the turf in the direction of Westbrook. Westbrook had Robbins all over him, and Garcia was under big-time pressure from Kiwanuka.
Yeah, you go back to the Michael Strahan there, and I know that over the last couple of weeks there's been speculation each week that he's going to get out and play, but boy, if he comes back and plays this season, I'll be surprised. I don't doubt that there's going to be a time when he gets out on the field. Maybe it comes next week, but I just don't know that he's going to be able to make it through an entire ball game or make it through the remainder of the season with that injury. Of the players who have had it in recent years, they have not, any of them, come back that soon.
3rd and 8. Garcia out of the backfield. It is Buckhalter, good for a first down. Correll Buckhalter gets 9 and gets a fresh set for Philadelphia. Dockery on the stop, and Garcia continues to move this offense.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times at 3rd and long, it's very frustrating for fans when they do throw it for only 4 yards and they get tackled and you don't pick up the first down. But Garcia wanted to go down the field. He couldn't find anybody open. He comes underneath the Buckhalter, and then Buckhalter's able to run and pick up the first down primarily because of all the linebackers dropping underneath the deeper throws.
First down, Philadelphia. Brian Westbrook carries it, loses a yard as he is brought down by Jarris Wilkinson, and we welcome in a new audience. Where you been? I know where you've been. You've been watching the Chicago Bears wrap up an overtime victory over Tampa Bay. Meanwhile, in this game, after a 3-and-out, a 38-yard punt return by Chad Morton set up a touchdown run by Tiki Barber. 7-0 Giants, and then Garcia and the Eagles answered. Westbrook helped the team move it down the field, and Buckhalter his first rushing touchdown of the season, and it's 7-7. And with 8.5 to go, timeout Philadelphia. Take a break and come back. 2nd and 11 when we return.
Hello, Mr. McDermott.
Call me Jim. You'll be my son-in-law in a few.
FedEx, for all your shipping needs. By Citizen Watches, Citizen Echo Drive, unstoppable. By Singular, raising the bar. And by Wendy's, do Wendy's new double melt and do what tastes right.
Troy, that is the Wallman Rink in Central Park. Right on the other side of the hill, just when you get into the park, coming off Central Park South. I was there yesterday. They run a good operation, and it is crowded, my friend.
My 5-year-old daughter's wanted me to take her ice skating. I've never done it. You got any advice?
Yeah, don't go.
Don't go.
Just forget it. Jordan, Alley, maybe next year. 2nd and 11. Giants coming on a blitz. Garcia has his line pick it up and fires for Schobel out of his reach. Well covered by Madison downfield, and Chris Rose is sitting by with a game break.
Joe, Rex Grossman, a career-high 339 yards through the air. This pass to Rasheed Davis, not reviewed by the booth upstairs. Sets up Robbie Gould, missed from 37 earlier in overtime, true from 25. Bears clinch home field advantage throughout for the first time since '88. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, so that game finally ends, and Chicago now with home field advantage throughout as long as they're alive, 12-2. But then it is a mess the rest of the way in the NFC. 3rd down and 11. Garcia is going to try and run for it. A flag is thrown. Garcia has first down yardage, but this one's coming back.
Holding. 72 offense. 10 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
That is the 6th penalty here in a quarter and a half, basically, against the Eagles.
Yeah, that was against William Thomas, the left tackle, and initially it looked like he had done a pretty good job because you've got Kiwanuka there, and it was after he tried coming off and making the play on Jeff Garcia that Thomas then grabbed Kiwanuka with his right hand. I think had he not have done that, I don't think that Kiwanuka would have been able to make the play on Garcia. But that's always hard on an offensive tackle, not knowing exactly where your quarterback's going to be, and you feel pressure of that guy sliding off of you, and the natural reaction is then to grab.
That would have been the 2nd, 3rd, and 11 conversion for a first down in this half by the Eagles. It's wiped away. Garcia in the pocket, throws behind Westbrook. It's 4th down. So the hold by William Thomas stops the drive. And the Giants about to get it back. Just to finish, Chris Rose telling us that now Chicago's 12-2. They've wrapped up home field advantage. The number 2 seed is still New Orleans at 9-5. Then Dallas at 9-5. Seattle lost at home to San Francisco. They're 8-6. And it's the Giants, Philadelphia, Atlanta. Right now the only teams that are 500 or better. The rest of the NFC. Chad Morton on the return, doing as much as he can, and what looked like maybe a fair catch. Morton takes it on the return for 10 yards. Thomas knows he just stopped the Eagles dead in their tracks.
Beneath the placid exterior lies a cauldron of activity.
Giants get it back. And they'll start with it at their own 27. Hand off to Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber runs into Omar Gaither. Early game headliners in this week 15. There are the numbers for Rex Grossman. First 300-yard passer for the Bears since 2002. That's hard to believe, but true. Jamal Lewis, running back for the Ravens, in their win, 109 yards. And then Lavernius Coles, a big day as the Jets dismantled Minnesota. And after Atlanta lost last night, Minnesota had a real shot of getting into the playoffs, and then they come out and lay an egg against the Jets. 2nd and 8. A blitz from Dawkins. Manning throws for Burris. And Burris makes the catch. Make sure he does not have a flag thrown against him as he pushed off a little. and it's good for 29 yards, first down.
You know, we talk about Rich Seibert, who's at center for Sean O'Hara, and watch, they're going to bring pressure here in the middle, and that's where they want to bring it, is right over Rich Seibert, test him out a little bit. But by doing that, you now allow the one-on-one matchup. Lito Shepherd there matched up with Plexico Burris, and Lito Shepherd just misplayed the ball. The ball's on the outside. Lito thought it was going to be an underthrown pass, and Plexico makes a pretty good grab.
Also pushed off a little bit as the ball was getting there. Eagles sideline wanted a flag on Burris. They didn't get it. And a penalty flag comes in, thrown by Jerry Austin. Looks like a hold as Tiki Barber picks up 2.
Holding, 82 offense, 10 yards, repeat, first down.
Troy, let's talk about Shanko is guilty. Talk about these big receivers, and in particular Plexico Burris. He and Amani Toomer, who was healthy the first time these two clubs met in Philadelphia, took advantage of the size mismatch with the defensive backs of this Philadelphia defense.
Yeah, they were able to do that, and really Plexico Burris is going to be able to take advantage of most every corner he goes up against, just because there's not going to be defensive backs that can match him in size. Right now he's matched up with Sheldon Brown, clearly has the advantage over him. Sheldon Brown's only 5'10". But there was talk about putting William James on him because he's a little bigger, but he's not playing today.
Screen play, penalty flag again. And a nice play by Sheldon Brown as he tackled Tiki Barber, a gain of 8. But another flag came flying. Giants are going backward.
Holding, 70 offense, 10 yards, repeat, first down.
It's Whitfield.
Yeah, watch him right here, the left tackle. And as Trent Cole gets the edge, yeah, he grabs him there. You know, Bob Whitfield this week talked about how he had gotten a little bit accustomed to being the backup here and backing up Luke Pettigrew, and when he came in, when Luke went down against Chicago, was really not prepared. But he's been putting in the time, and he's actually played pretty good football here over the last few games.
Broken leg for Pettigrew. They may get him back before the end of the season. Not on IR. Coach Mora, thank you. How about one more time, Coach Mora?
Playoffs.
Thank you. Chicago at 12-2, the Saints at 9-5, Dallas 9-5. You know who has the tiebreaker head-to-head there after last Sunday night. New Orleans just dismantling the Cowboys in Dallas. Seattle lost, and then these two clubs at 7-6. But Troy, you and I were talking. The loser of this game still has their destiny within their hands as we go down the last 2 weeks.
And what's amazing is if the Eagles win out, they win the division.
2nd and 25. This ball's up for grabs. Tipped and picked off by Dawkins. And there's the first December interception thrown by Eli Manning, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. Jeremy Shockey gets up, upset. We'll see who this flag is against. It happened after the change of possession. So the Eagles will have the ball.
After the play is over, personal foul, number 80 of the Giants. 15 yards, first down.
Well, we saw Shockey pointing to his head on the play by Dhani Jones earlier in the game. This ball hit off Patterson's helmet and ended up in the arms of Brian Dawkins. And then Shockey doing this at the end of the play, showing his frustration. Good field position at the 41 of the Giants for the Eagles when we come back.
Yoda moving forward.
Giants have turned the ball over twice now as Eli Manning throws his first interception in the last 3 games. Hit off the helmet of Mike Patterson and was intercepted by Dawkins after the penalty on Shockey. Good starting field position for the Giants, and Westbrook is pounded by Dockery. But he held on for a completion of 8 yards back to the interception.
Yeah, and the ball comes off the helmet of Mike Patterson, who isn't even standing straight up. He's only 6 foot tall. I mean, pretty remarkable that a ball would be thrown that low. He's trying to go to Shockey. Of course, there's the end of the play when Jeremy comes in. You're not certain when the whistle had blown, but obviously an unnecessary hit on his part, and trying to explain there to Eli Manning how he was running the route and how he might have had an opportunity.
Correll Buckhalter right up the heart of this Giants defense. On 2nd and 2, picks up 11. Will Demp's on the tackle, and the Philadelphia Eagles, thanks to the deflection, the interception, the penalty, now have a first down with a ball at the Giants' 22.
Well, they told us coming in that they wanted to get Correll Buckhalter more involved and let him run the football because of his physical play and his physical style as a runner. And right now, a bulk of his carries have been right at the teeth of that defense. And as I said previously, these defensive tackles have done a pretty good job throughout the season, but struggling here tonight.
Penalty flag on the play as Garcia is brought down by Pierce, and we'll check the marker. This has been a penalty-filled first half.
Offside, 51 of the defense, 5 yards, but still first down.
So Carlos Emmons came across too soon. It's a 4th Giant penalty. There have been 10 penalties. That ball actually was on the ground. The penalty was on the Giants, and they've already doubled their penalty total from a week ago when we watched them at Carolina.
Yeah, and prior to last week, that's one of the things that had really been plaguing this New York team had been penalties. They thought that they got it cleaned up last week, in which they did, but already in the first half, they've had too many.
1st and 5. Garcia over the middle for L.J. Smith. He's got a first down inside the 10 to the 8. Hasn't been somebody that Garcia's looked to a lot since he has taken over as the starter. He gets his first completion to the big tight end here for 9 yards.
Yeah, and L.J. has been a little frustrated with his lack of opportunities here in recent games, but he's handled it very well. He's put the team first. He's not spoken out about it. And even Jeff Garcia has said that maybe he's gotten off of him a little bit too early at times relative to how Donovan McNabb would hang with him in the pocket. But a good pick up there.
Approaching the 2-minute warning as Westbrook starts right, cuts back left, and he's down inside the 2. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Meanwhile, Jeff Garcia has now thrown 150 passes this season without an interception. This interception by Dawkins has set up this opportunity, tied at 7 at Giant Stadium.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Visa.
Creeping up on the Eagles team record, 31 career interceptions. Eric Allen and Bill Bradley share the record of 34. The 31st in that terrific player's career is set up. 2nd and goal now from just inside the 2 for the Eagles. Garcia's completed passes to 6 different receivers. And again, he's thrown 150 passes this season without an interception.
You know, what's amazing is when you talk about Garcia and how he spread the ball around, that's really the same thing that Donovan McNabb was doing, not just this year, but over recent years also.
Handoff is to Westbrook. And he'll get it down inside the 1. 3rd and goal with 1:52 and counting. The Giants have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. You could almost think about taking one here defensively just to try and save some time as we approach halftime here at Giant Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Eagles in no hurry to try to punch this one in. Plenty of time with their timeouts, and even if they don't end up using them, if they don't score here either.
So the Eagles will let the clock wind down, take their 2nd timeout, and then depending on what happens on 3rd and goal, we'll see if the Giants take one defensively. It's 7-7 with the Eagles knocking on the door.
There she goes. One that got away. You see the way she was looking at me? You're not going to believe this one. Let me take you back to what happened.
Why do I care? I mean, he's a loser.
I can't believe I won. I can't believe it. I didn't mean to spill coffee. It was hot. How could I blow that?
It's never enough.
Yeah! Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you.
Thank you. I'm starving. You want to go, get some Chinese or something like that?
Hey, Stu. I need you to track down a couple files. This is from 1970 something, somewhere in Asia. Good luck. Also, this from finance. That's what, 8 mergers ago. Could be anywhere. I'm gonna grab lunch. Call me when you got it.
Got it?
Right, see ya.
No, I mean, I got it.
Right. Call me when you get them both.
Got them both. I'll just put them on the team site so we can get started while you're at lunch.
With the right software, there's no such thing as a needle in a haystack.
Unstoppable. Michael Waltrip is. So is his Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
Get me Jack Bauer immediately.
Sunday, January 14th.
We're asking you to sacrifice yourself.
Experience the thrill ride only the best drama on television can deliver.
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Non-stop. All season long.
Don't even think about it. My name is Jack Bauer. I know who you are.
24. Be there for the 2-night premiere, Sunday, January 14th on Fox. You're watching Fox.
3rd and goal from inches inside the 1, and big Nick Cole, 6-footer, 350 pounds, backup rookie offensive lineman, is in at fullback in front of Buckhalter.
Actually, he went over to tight end. He's right over here at the tight end position, Joe.
And Tapei is in at fullback as Buckhalter does not get it. And now the Giants will take a defensive timeout. It's 4th and goal. Timeout New York. They have 2 left. So with that big right side, the fullback and Cole over there, the Eagles cannot punch it in. Timeout New York. 4th and goal when we come back.
Everybody has secrets to tell. My secrets are bigger than others.
The Good Shepherd is the best spy movie ever. Newsweek calls it mesmerizing. It's the godfather of CIA movies.
Be careful.
The Good Shepherd, rated R, starts Friday.
Taking a quick break?
I'd like to see that for someone very special.
The Leo Diamond, independently certified for superior brilliance and selected to match beautifully by Kay Jewelers.
Chris, how did you know? Every kiss begins with K.
You wouldn't make it in pro football, but you can get inside with Bcast. Download Madden's weekly game reports, get scores, stats, and more exclusively from Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
Come on.
This holiday, give America's #1 fragrance, Dream Angels Heavenly, only at Victoria's Secret.
Is our next American Idol among us today?
It only happens once a year.
Welcome to Hollywood.
The dream is back.
Absolutely fantastic.
American Idol returns Tuesday, January 16th on Fox.
Get autographed NFL stuff and give back. Bid for a cause. NFLauction.nfl.com.
There's the distance that separates the Eagles from the Giants end zone. 4th and goal. Cole still in the offensive huddle. The 350-pounder, and when they first had, now we're going to get Garcia stepping out for a moment, did not call a timeout, and it's Westbrook in at running back. 4th and goal. Westbrook leaps. Touchdown. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Troy, it was interesting when we were coming back from commercial break. The Eagles got up to the line, had Buckhalter in at the tailback position. Garcia pulled him back out of that area, back to huddle up, and Westbrook came in late, and it's Brian Westbrook getting the ball and going over the top.
Yeah, and that's probably why, is because they wanted to go up over the top. So many times you get down here on the goal line and the defensive line is going low trying to create penetration, that if you can hold off the linebackers, oftentimes you can go over the top, as Westbrook did there, to get the touchdown.
What a great job by the holder, Dirk Johnson, to get it up for Akers, who bangs it through. It's Westbrook. His terrific season continues with his 10th touchdown of the year, 6th rushing, 14-7 Eagles.
Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41.
The weather is ideal here on the 17th of December, and we approach halftime. The Visa halftime is coming up for you. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. We'll have scores and highlights from another weird day around the NFL. Some surprise scores will come your way. The Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second statistics. Be under a minute to go when the Giants start on offense. They will have 2 timeouts remaining as Ward carries it, crosses the 30 out to the 32. Westbrook got the touchdown. Sean Andrews got the spike, went lefty on us. Twice he spiked stuff.
For a bold taste that finishes clean, expect everything.
Jeff Garcia and this Philadelphia offense has moved the ball, spread it around, been impressive here in the first half. Fell behind 7-0, now lead 14-7. 2 timeouts remaining for the Giants, and a quick one to Carter. Tim Carter over the middle, gets a block, and he's out across the 45, just shy of the 47. Brandon Jacobs had been looking at his foot. He has a fumble in this game, and the clock continues to run with 40 seconds left. First down, Giants. And the pass is caught by Shockey. He's inside Philadelphia territory, and a timeout taken. Some of the best offense that we saw from the Giants in the first matchup, and it looks like Shockey did make that catch, was out of the no huddle. They run the no huddle, the 2-minute offense, and trying to move it down 7. For the Giants, who have 1 timeout left. Eli with time, and Shockey is left all alone. Shockey is out of bounds inside the 35, and they're right on the edge of Jay Feely field goal range right now, and now a little tussle behind the play. Whitfield is in on it. And no flags thrown, but Whitfield is tied up with Cole.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened on the play. I know a couple of weeks ago Bob Whitfield headbutted somebody in the Dallas game, and it was a very costly penalty, and this time he was shaking it up with Cole. They're engaged at the end of that play long after Eli Manning had thrown the ball away. And Bob Whitfield's an experienced guy. I'm not saying he was at fault, but he's got to know he's got to get off him.
How is there no flag on that? Carter over the middle, but now the Giants will have to spend a timeout. And with 14 seconds remaining, the Giants are out of timeouts.
Hey guys, here's the gift cards you purchased. Thanks.
I think both were surprised no flag was thrown when Whitfield and Cole got into it. Right now, Troy, with no timeouts left, the Giants are in field goal range. It would be about a 47-yard try from here.
Well, and Eli Manning has to be very, very careful. They have to be able to get this ball out of bounds. Otherwise, they're going to run out of time. They're not going to be able to spike the ball and have time to do that if they complete it in play.
Pass is incomplete. You wonder if the Giants are going to risk it anymore. Tom Coughlin says bring on Feely, and with 8 seconds left on 3rd down, after Manning took a shot getting rid of that ball, Feely will try to dig into this 7-point lead.
You know, yeah, Eli, he takes a shot at the very end. Trent Cole probably still a little bit upset by what happened there with Bob Whitfield, but he got the ball out. If he gets sacked there, obviously they have no opportunity. The half ends. But still, Eli Manning has not been sacked here in this first half.
This would be a season long for Feely, who drills it. And it's 14-10 with 3 seconds to go in this first half. Manning gets the Giants into range, and Feely does the rest. 47 yards, a new season long. 14-10 Eagles.
Rated E for everyone.
The team's coach going over last-minute instructions prior to this, what we expect to be squib kick from Jay Feely with 3 seconds to go in this first half at Giants Stadium.
You know, I'll tell you, Joe, that was a big drive right there by the New York Giants. I mean, defensively, had they have been able to stop the Eagles there on 4th and 1, that would have been a terrific goal line stand, but they gave up the touchdown. But for the Giants to come back and get a field goal prior to the end of this half and recapture some of that momentum, obviously big.
The squib kick, but a chance for a return by Lito Shepherd. And that'll do it as Walker wrestles down Lito Shepherd. A return of 15 yards, a half of play in the books. Tiki started out fast, so did the Giants, but it was a lot of Garcia and the Eagles from that point on. 14-10 at the half. Philly on top in this battle of 2 7-6 teams. The Visa halftime show is coming up right after this.
The Tostitos Bowl Bash kicks off on Fox.
And it's 14-10 and our latest fantasy stats. If you want to check them out, you can log on to foxsports.com. Who you like, who'd you have, who'd you pick? Garcia, Tiki, Brian Westbrook, all with a big first half. And you talked a lot about what the Giants did there at the end of the first half. Howie Long talked about it on the Visa halftime. A little shot of momentum, and now they'll start this second half with the football.
Yeah, I think that was very important for the Giants to be able to go down there and come away with some points. You know, you look at this game, both teams are running the ball, you know, very effectively. Both quarterbacks are playing very efficiently. I know the interception that Eli had, and then, of course, the turnover. That's really been the big difference, is the 2 turnovers there by the New York Giants. But, you know, you think back to that first game that these 2 teams played against each other and how much success the Giants had when they had to go into the no huddle there in the 4th quarter. I'm not suggesting that they have to do that right now. Obviously, this is still a very tight ball game, but the way in which Eli Manning took the team down the field there to end the first half kind of makes you wonder if maybe they ought to think about doing more of that.
Yeah, go ahead and suggest it. Who's going to call you on it? Ward can't find the ball for a second and now picks it up, and he's not going anywhere except backward. They'll start at the 16-yard line, the Giants will, and Pam Oliver. Pam.
Hey, Joe. I asked Andy Reid about his thinking about going for it on 4th down. He said, first of all, I just thought we could get it, and also I wanted to set a tone, an attitude with that play. Defensively, the attitude he wants to see is for his group to keep Tiki Barber in check. Tom Coughlin gave me a laundry list of things. First of all, he says we've got to play with poise. He was encouraged by that field goal to go into the locker room at halftime, as you guys mentioned. Back to you.
All right, Pam, we'll see how they do now. The Giants starting the second half with the ball at their own 16, their worst starting field position of the day. Eli throws behind Burris. Plexico makes the catch. There was a lot of speculation, Troy, as we look at the halftime stats, that William James, the artist formerly known as Will Peterson here with the Giants, because he's a bigger body, would play across from Plexico Burris today, but he got hurt during pregame warmups.
Yeah, he came out and he was just warming up, and he pulled a calf muscle, and so that really kind of threw the Eagles into a little bit of a quandary, and it forced them then to pull up Roderick Hood, who missed last week with a hamstring, and still, quite honestly, is not 100%.
Blitz, and Tiki Barber goes nowhere. He loses yardage back to the 18-yard line. Dhani Jones, the first one there, a loss of 2. 3rd down and long coming up for New York.
You know, I think if you look at Philadelphia, and clearly they control their own destiny with the possibility of even winning the NFC East if they win out. But if they're able to do that, or if they're going to do that, then they're going to have to get a lot better than what they have been on the defensive side of the ball. So far today, they have been better. They've not stopped the run as well as what they've liked, but overall they've been okay.
3rd down and 7. Manning throws. First down, Shockey. Dragged down by Dawkins. Shockey carries it out to the 33-yard line, picked up 14.
You know, I really think this is when Jeremy Shockey is at his best, when he knows exactly who he has to beat, and he goes and beats him. He knows it's one-on-one against Brian Dawkins, and there's nobody else that's going to come underneath the route. So if he can just beat Dawkins, he's going to be open and make the catch, and that's exactly what happened.
And then he gets up woofing.
He's always good for that.
From their own 33, Tiki Barber, Darwin Walker. Grabbed him around the neck after Tiki picked up 4. Tiki Barber last week became the 21st player to go over 10,000 rushing yards in his career, and only the 3rd player to go over 10,000 rushing and 5,000 receiving, the other two Marcus Allen and Marshall Faulk. Yet at the end of this year, the 31-year-old will hang it up and go into the television business or the children book writing business or whatever it seems he wants to do.
I still think that's really remarkable that he is going to leave the game playing at the level in which he has been playing.
2nd down and 6. Manning throws. Shockey again as he gets more and more involved. And Jeremy Shockey is a little short, it looks like, of 1st down yardage.
I tell you, Jeremy Shockey has really come on here over about the last 4 games and is playing very, very well. They've gotten him a little bit more involved early in games, not as much here today as much as they had before, but we're starting to see it now here to start the 2nd half. And you know, everybody talks about what he means to this team. He's probably still blocking a little bit more than what he would like to, but he's one of those guys who's a real difference maker.
3rd down and a short one. Tiki Barber, who is one of the best in the league at picking up 1st downs, running the football, gets 8. Dawkins on the stop. A big hole on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and as I was saying, Jeremy Shockey here going in motion, and these are some of the things that he's doing more of under Tom Coughlin. He comes in there and cuts off Trent Cole enough to where Trent Cole can't get in there and be a part of the running play and part of the tackle. But you know, he's been banged up a little bit. We talked about the finger that he's had a problem with here in recent weeks. He fights through all that, and one of the real competitors in this game.
Blitz from the Eagles. Considine was coming. Giants pick it up, and Finn, the fullback, is flipped after a gain of 9. So now it's Eli Manning spreading the ball around and moving this Giants offense. Sheldon Brown on that stop, and Tiki Barber picked up the blitz.
Yeah, and this is some of the things that just don't normally show up when you go back there and look at the stat sheet, and yet it's very, very important to have guys like Tiki Barber in the backfield who recognize the blitzes, aren't afraid to get their body out in front of blitzers and give their quarterback time to make the throw. Tiki Barber has always been very good in that situation, primarily being used as a 3rd down back throughout the early part of his career.
Tiki Barber picks up the 1st down inside the 35. Let's see Shepard Smith or Brian Kilmeade pick up 1st downs and pick up blitzers. The Fox News Channel. Is that where he's headed? Here's his accomplishments. And he is putting together a career, Troy, that, you know, you have to start at least considering the Hall of Fame for this guy. And I know that he's, you know, the numbers are starting to add up where he's at least got to get into the conversation.
Well, I think one of the things that ultimately will hurt him is the fact that throughout the early part of his career, he was not viewed as an every down back. He was primarily a 3rd down guy, so he didn't get the carries that he's now getting.
Boy, he just is swallowed Darwin Walker, and that was just Tiki Barber putting his head down and saying, you got me, I'll just take a loss of 1 and live to play another down.
Well, Darwin Walker and that defensive front, I've always thought that when Darwin Walker cranks it up and gets prepared to play and comes into the game just a little bit angry, he's about as difficult as there is in the league to stop. Unfortunately, he's been somewhat inconsistent, which is pretty reflective of the way the entire defense has played this season.
Lost 4 on that run to Tiki Barber, not 1. A 2nd down and 14 out of the shotgun. Eagles are coming on the blitz. Manning's in trouble, and down he goes back in Giants territory. Omar Gaither. A loss of 12. The Eagles showed blitz. They still came, and Manning couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah, they're going to come right here. They just want to attack those A gaps, which is the gap off of the center. And Seibert takes the one to his right. They try to get Tiki in there to get Omar Gaither, but he whiffs on the block, and then he's the guy who ultimately brings Eli Manning to the ground. Eli Manning saw it coming, wanted to get the ball out, but where he was wanting to throw the football, the receiver was not open.
First sack in the career of rookie Omar Gaither, who's making his 3rd start in place of Matt McCoy, and that's the first sack by either team today. Might have another. Manning gets rid of it, throws it behind Shockey, avoids the sack, but it's still 4th down. Pressured by Darren Howard this time. The Eagles have been waiting for him to apply the pressure they were used to seeing after picking him up as a free agent from New Orleans.
Well, they really have been, and I know early in the season he was playing very, very well. In fact, one of the reasons why they were playing as well as what they were defensively was because of Darren Howard. But you know, over the last 3 games coming into this game, he had only had 1 tackle, no sacks, no quarterback pressures. In fact, Jim Johnson made it very clear he expected him to elevate his play.
Feagles hits a beauty. Boy, is he good. What a weapon. Jeff Feagles downs it inside the 20, and they will mark the football at the Eagle 8. Frustration for Manning as that drive stalls.
These low fares to your favorite vacation destinations start at just $59. Book yours at Southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Here's your paper.
Thanks. Here's a little something for you.
Thank you.
Your sidewalk's all clean. Thank you.
It's the season to wow everyone on or not on your list. That's why our pledge is to help you find the gifts everyone really wants.
Not sure what to get? With the Best Buy gift card, you can't go wrong. Wrap up the wow, only at Best Buy.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. By Microsoft, software for the people-ready business. By Best Buy, wrap up the wow this holiday season only at Best Buy. And by the all-new 2007 Wrangler, a new species from Jeep.
We have found the stunt double for Jeremy Shockey in the crowd here at Giant Stadium. It's that guy. Now it's Shockey and that guy seated watching Jeff Garcia and the Philadelphia offense. Garcia spread it around all day. Gets outside the defensive end position and fires for a completion to Thomas DePay, the fullback. Good for 8 yards, 2nd and 2. So one of the few rollouts, and Garcia getting outside on the edge, completing the ball to DePay, who had a big completion thrown his way on a 3rd and 1 last week at Washington. Game break coming up. The offensive leaders for you. 40 yards receiving for Westbrook to this point. 7 different receivers Garcia's thrown it to. Here is Westbrook, and there's a first down at the Philadelphia 20. Here's Chris Rose with a game break.
All right, Joe. Jay Cutler winning the battle of first-round draft pick quarterbacks against Matt Leinart. Cutler's thrown for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. That to Rod Smith. Denver up on Arizona 23-10. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Chris, it's still an uphill climb for Mike Shanahan's team. 7-6 Denver. But leading in the desert. Under 7 to play here in the 3rd quarter. First down for the Eagles. Garcia over the middle. Reggie Brown with the catch. And Brown out across the 40, still going. Out to the 48-yard line. Matthias Kiwanuka all the way downfield to make the stop. A 28-yard completion from Garcia to Reggie Brown.
Yeah, and this time the Giants, they try to bring linebacker pressure themselves, but the Eagles do a good job picking it up. Jeff Garcia has a clear lane to throw the football and puts it on Reggie Brown. Nice execution there by that offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then, of course, Reggie Brown making a would-be tackler miss and then getting some extra yards.
Longest play of the day for the Eagles, 28 yards and a first down out at their own 48. Flea flicker. Garcia's flushed and flips it over the head of L.J. Smith. Razzle-dazzle, and it's only 2nd and 10 after the incompletion tonight on Fox. Get ready to celebrate the holidays Simpson style with an all-new episode you can't miss. Festivities begin tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here only on Fox after the OT. So our day of football on Fox continues at the conclusion of this game. We'll wrap up the day, give you highlights, and talk about what's to come. The playoff picture with 2 weeks to go in the regular season. 2nd and 10. Westbrook right up the middle of this defense. And Westbrook is hit by Demps, but not until he's gained 16.
Yeah, you know, I talked a little bit about it there in the first half with Correll Buckhalter. Now they get Brian Westbrook involved with some of these runs right up the gap. And just very well executed there by the offensive line, creating that seam. And right now, the interior play of the Jamal Jackson, the center, and then the 2 guards, Todd Harrimans along with Sean Andrews, are just moving out Barry Cofield and Fred Roberts.
First down, Philadelphia. Another handoff to Westbrook. Pierce, the first one to get his hands on him, and Westbrook gains 3.
I think you've got to be pretty impressed with the job that Marty Morningwig is doing calling the offensive plays. Of course, that Andy Reid called the plays throughout his time here as head coach, and Brad Childers, when he had been here as the offensive coordinator. Marty Morningwig has been within the organization ever since leaving Detroit as the head coach. But this is his first year to be labeled offensive coordinator, and about 4 or 5 ball games into the season, they handed those duties of play calling to him, and he's done a good job.
Eagles have run it more today than they've thrown it, and Emmons is there for the sack. Garcia's hot as he gets up and fires the ball to the official. A loss of 10, and a big play by Carlos Emmons.
You know, it seems like for both of these teams offensively, whenever they start to get something going, all of a sudden they have a setback with a penalty, or here as of late, a sack. Carlos Emmons just goes right through Correll Buckhalter, who was responsible for making the block, and is able to then sack Jeff Garcia. And Jeff Garcia, he said that he is anything but cool, calm, and collected during the course of a ball game.
Play clock winding down. It's 3rd and 17. Garcia over the middle. L.J. Smith is short of a first down. Smith to the 30. It will be 4th down for the Eagles, and David Akers should trot onto the field with a 48-yard field goal try staring him in the face. By the way, that sack, which set up the 3rd and long, only the 3rd time that Garcia has been sacked all year, as he makes his 4th start and he's playing in his 5th game.
Well, it was a good job there on 3rd down, hanging in there. Even though obviously they didn't pick up the first down, they at least were able to get enough yards to give Akers the opportunity here for the field goal.
48-yard try to make it a 7-point game. And it is pushed wide to the left. So the Giants take over. Akers with a miss. Philadelphia up 4.
The world's first 4-door, 5-passenger Wrangler.
Wrangler Unlimited, a new species from Jeep.
Beginning workout. You've completed 1 mile. 400 meters to go. 300 meters. 200 meters. 100 meters to go.
I've been really good this year, and the only thing I want is one of those amazing phones.
Well, Timmy, do you mean VCast phones?
The NV plays VCast video, and its full keyboard makes it great for texting.
And the mint chocolate's perfect for music lovers. It's got an MP3 player.
You know I'm working here.
Only Verizon Wireless has the gifts you want, like the hottest LG VCast phones. Now get these 2 fully loaded phones for just $49.99. Happy holidays from the network.
The NFL and United Way have been helping to strengthen America's communities for years. Maybe you can give us a hand. Volunteer at unitedway.org.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Watch John Madden break down the games exclusively on VCast, only from Verizon Wireless.
Big sack on that last defensive stand by the Giants. First of the year for Carlos Emmons. It led to the miss on a 48-yard try by David Akers. And the Giants started their own 38 down 4. This is Burris behind the defense. Pump fake burned the Eagles. And Plexico Burris is forced out of bounds deep at the Eagle 10.
Well, you throw a lot of the shorter routes, then you come back on the slant and go. You're going to see Burris started to the inside. Lito Shepherd wanted to jump it, but Burris then took it to the fade, and a well-thrown ball by Eli Manning. You know, the Giants had not gotten the ball down the field throughout this ball game and thrown a lot of shorter routes. By doing that, that helped set up the double move.
Longest completion to Burris this year. Tiki Barber, Mike Patterson. And a loss on that carry on first down. Meanwhile, Burris was good for 52 yards down to the 10-yard line. Now it's 2nd and goal with the ball back outside the 12.
Well, just a well-executed play there for the New York Giants, and of course set up because of the missed field goal, and the great field position that they got has gotten them now inside the 15-yard line.
2nd and goal. Manning over the middle. Pass complete to David Tyree. Good for 7. It's 3rd and goal.
You know, it's so important when you get down here in this situation, just finding a way to come away with touchdowns. Overall, the Giants have been good this year in the red zone, but in a game like this, a tight ball game, oftentimes when the game's all said and done, that's the difference. For those teams that score touchdowns, they win, and those that don't, oftentimes lose.
3rd down and goal. Manning in trouble, throws it up for Shockey. Out of bounds. 4th down New York, and the field goal unit will come on for the Giants.
Well, you were right, Joe, as far as just throwing it up. I mean, Eli let it go, trying to give Shockey an opportunity. Actually, a very well thrown ball, because if it had been underthrown, that ball's intercepted. Shockey made a good play on it as well. Just
he's
not
saying
enough ground.
And Troy Shockey saying throw the challenge flag, but he was clearly out of bounds. You can hit the pylon, then wherever you come down after that is where you are on the field. And after glancing against the pylon, in the process of making the catch, Shockey was out of bounds when he hauled it in. 23-yard field goal by Feely, and it's a 1-point Eagle lead.
Happy holidays. I'm a Mac, and I'm a PC. What's that, a little present there for old PC?
There you go, buddy.
Hey, please be a C++ GUI programming guide. Oh, it's Book of photos. Photos of us? You see, like all the good times we had this year. Well, it looks like a lot of work anyway. Thanks. Actually, no, it was really easy. Just a few clicks and iPhoto. Well, here's something I got for you. Oh, a C++ GUI programming guide. Thanks. Yeah, I've been eyeing that myself.
When is something not what it seems? When it's something more. Budweiser Select is the one beer that's brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean.
Don't just raise your glass, raise your beer.
Don't hold back, 'cause there's a party over here, so you might as well be here with the people care. Don't hold back.
It's Christmas! It's Christmas! Their father's on thin ice. Their mother's gift is nice. Hey. Animation Domination has great merchandise.
I'll take one in wife size and 3 in mistress size.
The Simpsons Holiday Special. All new, part of Animation Domination, tonight on Fox.
Head coach, quarterback. Those are the most important people, Troy, right? I mean, forget the rest.
I've always thought so.
Coughlin and Manning, Reed and Garcia, 14-13 Philadelphia with 1:10 left.
I think Jimmy always agreed with that, too.
Oh, there's no doubt. Except the head coach picture should be a little bigger. 1:10 left in the third quarter, and Reno Mahe will take a knee. Garcia getting a little work done on that moneymaker, the throwing hand. He'll head to the field, start at his own 20, up by Uno.
UPS, covering more of Europe before noon than anyone. UPS, covering more ground faster than ever.
All 75 people are dead.
The odds were against them.
It takes years to build a team. Maybe I can help.
This holiday season,
See you on the field.
they will make you believe. Rated PG starts December 22nd.
Santa baby, I've really been an awful good girl. So hurry down the chimney tonight.
The Victoria's Secret gift card. It's everything she wants.
Oh, there's a spot.
Nice work, buddy.
Hang on.
Oh, I can't get out.
I got it.
Get any new Dodge, like the all-new Nitro, equipped with a Sirius satellite radio, and you'll get a 12-month subscription to the best radio on radio.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
It is a 1-point Eagles lead. The Eagles next week are in Dallas. When they finish the season at home against Atlanta. Trying to win here today. If they win next week and beat Atlanta, they win the East. Eagles have already defeated Dallas once this season. And T.O.'s big return. Dragged down from behind by Robbins is Brian Westbrook. Here is Jeff Garcia's hand before the game. And here is what Jeff Garcia's right hand looks like now.
You know, sometimes that happens. It may have happened last week where he got stepped on and then had a cut. I shook hands with him in pregame warm-ups, and I noticed the bandage there on the top of his hand. Didn't think much of it. But clearly that cut, whenever it occurred, has opened up.
2nd down and 10 after Westbrook went nowhere. This one underneath and dropped by Brian Westbrook, actually to pay. Thomas to pay, so he's 1 for 2 making catches in this game. And Garcia will now be faced with 3rd and 10 with 29 seconds left in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that was a tough drop there, Joe, because if Tepe was able to make the catch, he had enough room to where he could have run and pick up the 1st down. Now, faced with a 3rd and long.
Blitz from the Giants. Penalty flag is thrown on the play, and the ball is loose. Pierce comes away with a football, but no signal yet by Jerry Austin. Demps is the one that knocked it out, but no signal yet from Jerry Austin. He was the one who threw the flag, by the way, on the play. Giants football, but again, a flag is down on the field.
Well, they bring the pressure off the edge. They're able to get one, but they brought too many to block, and that's why Will Demps was then open. Was the arm going forward? No, it was not. It's open hand rule, which means that's a live ball.
So Demps makes the play, and here's the call from Austin.
Play on the field is ruled as a fumble. On the play, we have a chop block, number 36 of the offense. The Giants recover the ball. The penalty will be enforced. From that spot, half a distance to the goal. First down.
So now it's an Eagles turnover forced by the hit from Will Demps, who's had a rough season. The play, the fumble, and a challenge flag on the field by Andy Reid and the Eagles.
You need some help?
Yeah. Could you give me a jump?
Sure.
Give it a try. Try giving it some gas. Thanks.
It's holiday time in the city, and you'll find incredible savings on the year's coolest gifts. Like this LG 42-inch plasma TV with complete LG home theater system and deluxe installation from FireDog for just $1699.99. Or this 37-inch LG LCD with complete LG home theater system and deluxe installation from FireDog for only $1499.99. And with Circuit City's 125% unbeatable price guarantee on TVs, you know you'll save. Only at Circuit City.
They call it the season of hope, the season of joy, the season of light, when parents seem more like children and children more like angels. And on behalf of your good neighbors at State Farm, we want to wish you and yours all the hope, joy, and light the season has to bring.
Some houses have long memories. They thought the legend of Billy Lenz, who is in my house, was a joke. But evil still lives within these walls. Black Christmas. Rated R.
As we were going to commercial break, Andy Reid threw the challenge flag. Our producer is Richie Zients, our director Artie Kemner. He showed us definitive shots of what we believe is a fumble, empty hand, as the ball was knocked out actually by the helmet of Will Demps, who's been under fire here in his first year with the Giants. Be a huge turnaround here as the ball comes out before the arm goes forward. It's being challenged by Andy Reid. Now we'll get the call.
After reviewing the play, the call on the field stands. It was a fumble. The quarterback loses the ball before his hand goes forward. Philadelphia will be charged with their first timeout.
And with their first turnover, the Giants have turned it over twice, one on a fumble by Jacobs, the other on an Eli Manning interception. And now with Demps coming on a blitz, he knocks it away from Jeff Garcia. A penalty on a chop block called against Brian Westbrook, moves the ball down to the 7-yard line, 1st and goal.
Well, and now for the New York Giants, they're going to need to be able to take advantage of this opportunity and punch it in and come away with 7 points as opposed to having to settle for 3. If the Eagles can force the Giants to only a field goal, that will be a great job defensively.
We have not seen Brandon Jacobs since he limped off the field and went into the dressing room. It's Tiki Barber getting it on a toss. And as that play is stretched out to the right, Tiki Barber gets nothing. 2nd and goal. It was a struggle, Troy, for the Giants to punch it in deep in Dallas territory 2 weeks ago. Now they have to do it against their division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, trailing by 1. And the clock is stopped as an Eagles player, Michael Lewis, is down. They'll let the clock wind down. They'll check on Lewis. And we'll come back at the beginning of the 4th quarter. 2nd and goal for the Giants, thanks to this hit by Will Demps, trying to take the lead. Back after this from your local Fox station.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Sue and Dorothy. Weather, traffic on Fox 29's Good Day Philadelphia.
Morning. Hi. That'll be $20.
I'd like to pay for a couple of his shirts, too. And can you give him my card, please?
Sure.
Bold moves. They happen every day.
Hammer, 16 points. Nails, 7 points. Sandpaper, 5 points. Tape measure, 8 points. Rope, $5. Pro drill set, 235 points. You are now eligible for a digital camera.
Introducing Citizens Bank Rewards. Earn everyday points toward rewards by using your debit card. Redeemable for gift cards, merchandise, and special rates on banking products. Only at Citizens Bank.
Remember when wishes came true? They still can. Introducing the BMW Holiday Wish Event. The best time of year to buy the new 328i sedan. Lease of 2007 BMW 328i for $329 a month until January 2nd.
Some of the action that has transpired to this point. We began the 4th quarter as this game has flown by, and you fly with our DLP Ultimate Picture Cam into the Giants huddle, where it will be 2nd down and goal with the ball still at the 7.
You know, part of the problem here so far is on the last possession when they got to the 10-yard line on 1st down. Tiki Barber lost 2 yards. On this possession on 1st down, he got no yards. They need to get positive yards here to make it 3rd and short.
Hand off to Tiki Barber. Barber gets it maybe to the 5. They're going to mark him back at the 6. And it's 3rd down and goal. And the Giants have done nothing on their first 2 plays.
Yeah, and you know, they got more yards there. Had they have been able to do that on 1st down, now you're looking at 3rd and goal from about the 2. But right now at 3rd and goal from the 6, this is a passing down. And the Giants, it's not an easy down to throw on, and it's not an easy part of the field to be thrown on because the windows all get much smaller.
Eli talks about making good decisions with the football. What will he do here? He has it knocked down. Back at him. And it was Jaquay Thomas who made the play. So presented with a 1st and goal from the 7. After the fumble and the penalty on Westbrook, the Giants picked up 1 yard and have to settle for a field goal try.
Yeah, and there was really just nowhere for Eli Manning to throw the football. He got a little pressure, and so he had to then get out of the pocket to his left. And as you can see, there's just nowhere for him to throw it. He tries to take one shot, and then the ball's knocked down. But to go back to what I was saying, the lack of production on first down has hurt them on their last 2 possessions inside the red zone.
However, the turnover forced on the sack and hit by Will Demps gives Feely a 24-yard field goal try, and he puts the Giants up 2.
Introducing Wendy's Double Melt. In the middle of 2 hot and juicy fresh ground beef patties is a slice of pepper jack, cheddar sauce, bacon, and jalapenos.
Oh, that's okay. I like the middle.
For flavor where it counts, do what tastes right.
Y'all ready to order?
Hey, 253 straight days at the gym to get this body, and you're not gonna watch me on DirecTV HD? You're just not gonna get the best picture out of some fancy big screen TV without DirecTV. It's broadcasting 1080i. I totally don't know what that means, but I want it.
For an HD picture that can't be beat, get DirecTV.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by DLP. HDTV powered by DLP. It's amazing. It's the mirrors. By DirecTV, there's good TV, there's better TV, and then there's DirecTV. By Nike Plus. And by Hummer, like nothing else.
Well, let's see who are in our squares now. Antonio Pierce, the middle linebacker, in the heart of this defense for the Giants. Jeff Garcia will go back to work, and the 2 head coaches. NFC Eastern Division battle. Nino Mahe on the return from about 1.5 yards deep in the end zone. Gets blocked. Has room to run. Reno Mahe down the sideline and brought down from behind by Frank Walker. Big return for the Eagles, who trail by 2, 64 yards by Reno Mahe. His longest of the season comes at a good time. Great field position for Philadelphia.
On game day, what's inside will change this place. Colors will be newer, things will be clearer, real will be realer.
Realer.
When the big men play, you'll see it all again for the very first time. Look.
Whoa.
It's amazing. It's the mirrors.
HDTV powered by DLP. See how millions of tiny mirrors make the picture amazing.
Get great savings on select Samsung HD TVs powered by DLP at Best Buy.
Excuse me, Santa? You might want to consider some Lowe's gift cards.
Lowe's gift cards are the perfect gift for everyone on your list.
Did you get my note about the pony?
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Save 50% on holiday merchandise, indoor and outdoor holiday decorations, even Christmas trees, now through December 25th.
What you thinking about, honey?
Butterflies. What are you thinking about, Daddy?
I'm thinking about butterflies, too.
But, Daddy, aren't you worried about protecting your company and employees in the changing global economy? Are you tapped into the right capital markets expertise to help manage your institutional assets? What about life insurance, college, retirement? You need a smart financial plan, you know.
We're with AIG, honey. So I'm just thinking about butterflies.
Oh.
The AIG companies, the strength to be there.
What is it you want, Barry? You want the moon? Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the moon, Barry.
Give her a gift of gold from Kay Jewelers. Gold makes the moment wonderful.
Why don't you kiss her instead of talking at her, dear?
Every kiss begins with K.
Philadelphia has not had a kickoff returned for a touchdown since 2001. But Reno Mahe just returned one 64 yards, longest of the season for the Eagles. And they start with it at the Giant 36, down by 2. Westbrook. Antonio Pierce was there to make the play for the Giants, a gain of 3.
Well, that's a good job there by Antonio Pierce getting in the hole. Brian Westbrook had an opportunity there on the cutback, and by Antonio Pierce, you're going to see as he moves back to his left, feels the hole right there. That's being disciplined and not overrunning the play and maintaining your gap.
2nd and 7. Garcia, pass is caught. L.J. Smith disappointed in himself that he didn't get beyond the marker. Gain 5. It'll be 3rd and short for the Eagles.
And I'll tell you, it's a little bit like what the Eagles went through on that last possession defensively, holding the Giants to just a field goal. Based on where the Eagles got this ball after the return by Mahe, if the Giants are able to hold Philadelphia here to a field goal of their own, that would be a very successful possession on their part as well.
Third down and 2. Timeout Philadelphia. Only one timeout left for the Eagles, down by 2. 3rd and a couple when we come back.
Hi, sweetie. Can you get us the Sirius satellite radio? The Sportster 4 from Radio Shack. It's really a great deal for 100% commercial-free music and our favorite sports 24/7. Sirius has the NBA and the NFL. Every game, every hit, every teeth-rattling, bone-jarring, pad-popping hit! And NASCAR's coming in 2007. So that's nice.
This holiday, give a Sirius Sportster 4 receiver from your neighborhood Radio Shack.
Beginning workout. You've completed 1 mile. 400 meters to go. 300 meters. 200 meters. 100 meters to go.
Stop. Back up. Turn right. Turn right. Straight ahead. Turn left at intersection. Destination ahead.
Navigate your holidays. From now until January 2nd, purchase or lease any specially equipped Cadillac and we'll pay for the navigation system. Season's best from Cadillac.
It's Animation Domination Holiday-ification with Mistletoe.
You gonna eat that?
Family Guy, all new part of the full hour at 9/8 Central tonight.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Season's Best from Cadillac, helping you navigate through the holidays, life, liberty, and the pursuit.
The crowd comes alive as the Eagles are faced with 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the Eagles are going 3 wide receiver here on 3rd and 2.
Actually 4 wide now as Reggie Brown is the lone receiver to the bottom of your screen. They spread him out, they run it up the gut, and Westbrook is in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Brian Westbrook. On 3rd and 2, 28 yards, and the Eagles are back on top.
Yeah, I guess the Eagles have seen enough teams do it against them. Go 3 and 4 wide receiver sets, spread out the defense, and then take it right up the middle. And that's what the Eagles do. As you see, they got 5 offensive linemen. They want to thin out the box. They've got 5 defenders in there to try to stop it. Will Demps is in there, but Todd Hermans does a good job of getting on him, and then Brian Westbrook just outruns everybody to the goal line.
We saw Andy Reid put up the 2 fingers. The Eagles will go for 2 for the first time this season. So here we are in week 15, and the Eagles are trying to make it a 6-point game. Popped up and throws to Brown for 2 points, and a penalty flag comes in. Penalty flag on the play. Indication is it's against the Eagles.
Pass interference, 36 offense, 10 yards, replay the try.
Well, they run a little pick action is what you're going to see here. And that's where the call came. You know what the shame of it is that the pick really didn't even have to take place. Westbrook, that was basically after the ball had been thrown when the contact was made.
And now, because of the penalty, the Eagles bring Akers onto the field, trying to make it a 5-point game. A 30-yard extra point. High snap. What a great job by Dirk Johnson.
Oh, man.
The holder dropped it. Dirk Johnson somehow got it up on its end, and then Akers pounded it through. Great hands by the punter. Good strong kick by Akers. It's a 5-point Eagle lead.
Turn left. Turn clockwise. Over. Turn under. Turn left at intersection. Destination ahead.
Navigate your holidays. From now until January 2nd, purchase or lease any specially equipped Cadillac and we'll pay for the navigation system. Season's best from Cadillac.
Some houses have long memories. They thought the legend of Billy Lenz, who is in my house, was a joke. But evil still lives within these walls. Black Christmas. Rated R.
You've seen how they play.
I don't even know how many rooms we have here.
Now see how they live.
This is the way you get around the Ramtown script.
Visit attblueroom.com/sports for exclusive access into your favorite players' worlds.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today, I can die for something.
24. The two-night premiere event begins Sunday, January 14th on Fox.
A 30-yard extra point, thanks to the good work by Dirk Johnson, the punter, of getting the ball up for Akers to pound through. And it's a 5-point game, 21-16. The Giants about to get it back. Ward on the return. Derek Ward right up the middle, lowers his head. Michael Lewis in on the stop for the Eagles. And the possession started with the 62-yard return by Reno Mahe. And then the touchdown scamper on 3rd and 2 by Brian Westbrook. They went for 2, made it, but a penalty on Westbrook. Pushed the ball back, and a 30-yard extra point try. The high snap by Dorenbos, the new long snapper, handled by Dirk Johnson, and Akers knocked it through. It's 21-16.
And what was impressive is that David Akers just kept his rhythm and just confidence that they were going to get the ball down in time.
Over the middle, it's Tiki Barber on the reception. And a gain of 4. Let's go to Chris Rose for a game break.
All right, Joe, two teams that used to call L.A. home meeting in Oakland. Steven Jackson helping to skunk the Raiders. Rams are up 20-0 after this jaunt. And it's 20-0, Joe. Let's send it back to you.
All right, a hurry-up approach now. No huddle by the Giants, something you talked about starting the second half, Troy, as Tiki Barber gets it on the carry, good for 3. It'll be 3rd down for the Giants.
Yeah, and it wasn't a big thought coming into the game, primarily because of the amount of rushing yards the Eagles defensively have been giving up. But here in the second half, the Giants have not run the ball very effectively. Tiki Barber under 4 yards per carry here on the day running the football. Now they're going to the no huddle, not the hurry up, but the no huddle.
On 3rd down and 3, Manning throws. He had a blitzer coming right in his face, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. Tyree, the intended receiver, and a flag came out of the secondary.
Holding on the defense. 5 yards. Automatic first down.
That is the 9th Eagle penalty.
We'll see if we can see here where it took place. There it is right there. As soon as Tyree's trying to come out of his route, we saw the grab there, and Eli Manning under heavy pressure just throwing it up, but they got the call.
Manning throws. The pass is complete to Carter, who is hit hard by Omar Gaither, a gain of 7.
I tell you he was hit. You know, Omar Gaither, who we haven't talked much about, he replaced Matt McCoy. Matt McCoy was the guy who was the big hitter, but he's got a shoulder injury that's limited his effectiveness, but Omar Gaither has played well in his place.
Asante Shenko makes the catch, puts it on the ground. It's a catch and fumble, and the Eagles take over. Lito Shepherd with the fumble recovery, as Shenko had enough for a first down and turned it over for the Giants.
You're right, Joe. He had the ball, he had the first down, and you know, out it came, and they just had too many mistakes and penalties in this ball game. The Giants have
another forced fumble by Dawkins. Shepherd takes it for the Eagles.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And buy a PC.
What?
Well, I know you like to just hang out when we're together, but fact is you're selling like hotcakes now, and I got to get my message out, so I'm doing a little buzz marketing for old PC, the only computer you'll ever need. If you act now, I'll throw in a
why are you doing this? This is ridiculous.
Well, look, I chart these buying trends, and people seem to be falling for your whole iLife thing, so I got to pull out all the stops. Supplies are limited. Operators are standing by.
It's very subtle.
Buy a PC. Buy a PC.
You've seen how they play.
Oh!
Now see how they live.
Looks pretty good, you know. I'm a big fan of barbecue now.
Vince Young! Visit attblueroom.com/sports for exclusive access into your favorite players' worlds.
Holiday shopping. It can be intimidating. Our pledge is to make finding gifts for everyone on your list easy.
And what could be easier than a Best Buy gift card? That way they can get the gifts they really want. Wrap up the wow, only at Best Buy.
Coach, when it's this hot, can any beer be more refreshing than Coors Light?
No, I don't believe that. That's not possible.
We'll save a cold one for you, Coach.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
How do you choose between Coors Light and cold refreshment?
Well, I don't believe I can segregate the two.
It was a trick question.
Taste the cold of Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Hey, Coach, we still got a 12-pack and 4 ice-cold cans.
Well, 12 and 4 is pretty good.
Brian Dawkins in this game has an interception and 2 forced fumbles as he just punched it out of the arm of Asante Shenko.
Yeah, really a good job. I mean, once he had Shenko wrapped up, to be able to use his right hand and punch the ball loose. Great camera work there capturing that. But that's Brian Dawkins. I mean, there's so many times when a play has to be made, he's the guy that has made it.
10:59 to go. 5-point Philadelphia lead. Garcia throws. Wide open is Lewis. Greg Lewis ducks down inside the 35. They'll mark him at the 32.
Hey, Jeff Garcia, they're talking to the referee. They brought pressure. Jabril Wilson laid him out, but not before he was able to get the ball there to Greg Lewis. Just another breakdown in coverage by the New York Giants. There's the late hit by Jabril Wilson, not called, but one that Jeff Garcia felt should have been.
How about 8 different receivers Garcia has hit here today? That one for 18 yards to Greg Lewis. They fake the reverse to Brown. Garcia with all day will run it. And Garcia dives out of bounds, spikes the football, and he will get the flag.
Yeah, that's a good call. It's a good call by the official. Jeff Garcia spiked the ball. As you see, he's going to go out of bounds here. Good job there by him, picking up what he could, but then he slams the ball down at the feet there of Jabril Wilson. You know, maybe, I'm not sure if he knew it was Jabril Wilson, but remember.
Made the first down after the play is over. Unsportsmanlike taunt on number 7, spiking the ball at the defender. 15-yard penalty. It'll still be 1st and 10.
You know, Joe, I'm not sure if he knew it was Jabril Wilson. Remember, Jabril Wilson's the one who hit him relatively late on the previous play, but you can tell Andy Reid, there's been a lot of these types of penalties for both teams here tonight, and those are the plays that just get you beat. I mean, now all of a sudden you're knocked out of field goal range to where they had a good drive going, and if they were able to score a touchdown, if they're able to get a touchdown on this possession, I mean, it makes it a 2-possession game then for the New York Giants to get back in it.
The only silver lining here is they gave Garcia enough for the first down. So it cost some field position, but it's still 1st and 10. So he got enough for the first down, then the 15-yard penalty. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Hand off to Westbrook. Umanura from the backside. Kiwanuka from the front side, a gain of 1.
You know, and the emotions there just got the better of Jeff Garcia. And, you know, we've been talking here over the last 3 games, you know, the decisions that he has made and how smart he has been. And he wasn't very smart on that play, and that could cost him.
Realize it while the Eagles hover here around field goal range for Akers, who has a big leg. David Akers is 4 for 9 kicking field goals lifetime here at Giants Stadium. 0 for 1 today. Garcia over the middle. The pass picked off right into the gut of Will Demps. Demps on the return. Still on his feet, looking for blocking. Ladder rolls to McQuarters. Stallworth saves a touchdown. Troy, this Will Demps has been under fire all year in his first year with the Giants. He has 2 today, and that a big return and a heads-up play to lateral to R.W. McQuarters.
Yeah, it really was a good job on him. Here he is right here in the middle. He never left the middle. This is a ball that Jeff Garcia should have never thrown. He just thought that maybe he could squeeze one in there. The only chance he had was to throw it up over the top of Will Demps. This is a defensive secondary that has dropped a lot of potential interceptions here in the last several ball games. Will Demps collecting on that one, and it came at a great time.
He's been involved in the 2 turnovers, one knocking the ball out of the hand of Jeff Garcia, and now the first interception of Jeff Garcia. The return a combined 53 yards, and underneath it's Tiki Barber. So now you do go back to the taunting call and the penalty on Garcia. He follows it up with the interception, and now it's the Giants down by 5 with a first down at the Philadelphia 24.
That's right, because had the Eagles have been able to come away with at least a field goal, it would have made it then an 8-point game, 1-possession game still, but the Giants would have been forced to score the touchdown and then also get the 2-point conversion. Now a touchdown obviously gives them the lead.
With under 8.5 to play. 2 7-6 teams battling. Back to the running game go the Giants, and it's Tiki Barber picking up 2. Sheldon Brown on the stop.
You know, Tiki Barber has gotten all the carries today with the exception of 1, and that 1 is when Brandon Jacobs laid the ball on the ground. I know he injured his ankle on that play, but he's not yet come back in the game. We're being told that he's okay to come back, but as great a player as Tiki Barber is, you know, right now you kind of get the feeling that a change-up back like Brandon Jacobs may be what could wear this defense out.
Second and 9, a blitz coming. Barber picks it up. Burris out of his reach, penalty flag. Sheldon Brown on the coverage.
You know, and if you'll think back to that first meeting between these two teams in overtime, it was Sheldon Brown on Plexico Burris. Much like this, pressure on Eli, throw the ball up. They try to go with it again. They don't get the completion, but they do get the pass interference against Sheldon Brown. You see the arm bar there with the left arm, and a good call. You know, so many times these corners,
is eligible, 65.
so many times these corners try getting the arm extended and then run the receiver to the sideline, and you just can't do that.
It's a 21-yard pass interference call. Brandon Jacobs is now in the backfield at tailback. First and goal from the 2. Manning keeps it, in trouble, throws it. Penalty flag as an incomplete pass hits off the left hand of Jeremy Shockey. Giants indicate it's against the Eagles.
Holding, number 37 in the defense. Half of this is to the goal. First down.
That's Sean Considine, who's taken over as the starting strong safety. He's called for that hold right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Shockey may have had as much a hold of him as what Considine had of him. Initially, it looked like Shockey was trying to block him, and that's why they were engaged. I'd like to think that from here, the 1-yard line, that they can hand it off to Jacobs and he can move the pile and get the touchdown.
Jacobs with his second carry of the day, fighting his way to the goal line. Not in. Second and goal. Brandon Jacobs with 8 rushing touchdowns on the season. And one of the Giants players is down. That's Seibert, who is the starting center today, playing in place of the injured Sean O'Hara. So O'Hara on the sideline, Seibert about to join him there in a lot of pain, laying on the turf.
I've been really good this year, and the only thing I want is one of those NBA.
Seibert getting the attention, popped up and did a little jog. He is a fan favorite here. Former starting left guard here for the Giants. Hurt in the 6th game of 2003. Meanwhile, Gray Rugemer, who was the backup for a long time in Green Bay, is taking practice snaps with Eli Manning. Seibert, Troy, a guy who in 2003 on one play.
Charge the Giants with a first timeout. It will be a 30-second one.
So they're calling timeout. The Giants are. And it's second down and goal, but here's a guy, Troy, that broke his right fibula, tibia, and ankle on one play and had to recover for 2 years before coming back.
Yeah, and you hope that he's okay because he has had to endure so much, and he's been a real vital player here along this offensive line, playing some tight end as well. And I think you got to give credit to Ernie Accorsi, the general manager, for the job that he's done as far as bringing in some veteran backup offensive linemen here for this group, because Bob Whitfield at left tackle, Gray Rugemer comes in now at center, and there's Ernie at his famous spot where he watches the games from.
It's Brandon Jacobs pounding his way for the touchdown. Touchdown, Brandon Jacobs. The line judge on the near side is signaling touchdown, and the Giants are out in front.
I tell you what, they don't make it easy down there, do they? I mean, not a lot of push, but just enough in order for them to get across. You're going to see now, not a lot of movement there, not much at all along that line, but Jacobs just able to get across there for the touchdown. Now, because of the situation, they'll go for 2 to try to extend their lead to 3 points.
So Jacobs gets it in his 9th rushing touchdown. We'll continue to look at Seibert on the sideline, and here's the 2-point try. 0 for 1 this season are the Giants, going for 2.
And I expect a fade throw here by Eli Manning. It seems to be what they like to do down here in these situations.
Got Burris at the bottom across from Sheldon Brown, and they hand it off to Tiki Barber. Nowhere to go, and it will stay a 1-point lead.
I'm a little surprised they went with the run there just because of the lack of movement, Joe, along that offensive line on the 2 previous plays trying to get it in for the touchdown. I fully expected them to come either off of play action, but because of how they were lined up, I thought that maybe they would take the shot on the fade to Plexico Burress.
Instead, with 6:59 to go, it's a 22-21 game with the Giants out in front now. We go down to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Yeah, Joe, just wanted to give you a little update on Rich Seibert. He continues to work out, trying to warm up on the sideline. According to the Giants, he has a mild knee sprain, and he is set to return. Back to you.
All right, well, when Seibert was down on his back, the Giants took a timeout. And he thought that they may be taking a timeout because then Seibert would not have to come off the field. He could stay in for the next play. But he was on the sideline. Rugemer took over at center. Brandon Jacobs behind Rugemer, and Snee and Deal pounded it in to make it 22-21.
You know, the other guy who's done a good job with that offensive line is his offensive line coach, Pat Flaherty. I talked about him earlier in the ball game, but he's the guy who gets these backups prepared to come out and play. And you think back to last week and the shuffling that they had to do there along that offensive line in the win over Carolina. And then again, in a critical situation, having to go back to some of those backups there. And there's a picture of Pat Flaherty, who's done a great job.
Now Feely kicks it away, and he has been kicking deep with that broken bone in his foot. And Mahe, who had the big return his last time, has to take a knee. Remember the late hit by Jabril Wilson got Garcia upset. Then after the scramble, picking up a first down, he spiked it in the direction of Emmons and Wilson. On the next play, after the 15-yard penalty for taunting, he throws the interception, has to rebuckle the chin strap to go help out on trying to make the tackle. 53-yard return that set up the touchdown run by Brandon Jacobs, and it's the Giants up by 1. Passer rating at 67 for Garcia, who has been well over 100 in each of his first 3 starts. Tonight on Fox, witness the ugly side of passion on an all-new Family Guy. The Obsession starts tonight at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, now you get an opportunity, Joe, to really kind of see what this New York defense is all about. I mean, they go down there and they take a lead. Now are they able to hold on to that? And also we get a good look at Jeff Garcia down by 1.
A little move and a carry by Westbrook, and it's a first down for Philadelphia. Cofield on the stop, but they have given Westbrook enough for a first down. The offensive leaders for the Eagles. The first interception thrown by Garcia as a starter for Philadelphia. Buckhalter with 1 touchdown, Westbrook the other 2. Blitz from the Giants. The pass is thrown and caught by Baskett. Good for 6 yards.
Now, it looked like Jeff Garcia had troubles with the snap there initially. He was able to get enough of it. There's a pretty good look there at his hand as well. It doesn't seem to be affecting his throws, but here's the snap. A little double clutch there. Yeah, it came loose, and Garcia was able to hang in there just enough to keep the ball. You know, the Eagles are running the ball awfully well, and there's still plenty of time here in this 4th quarter that, you know, they can still remain pretty balanced offensively.
They've been balanced all day long. 2nd and 3. The pass is bobbled and caught by L.J. Smith. L.J. to the Giants' 36-yard line.
You know, this is the middle of the field where sometimes the Giants are vulnerable, and L.J. Smith able to get in there, and then he bobbles the ball as well. Drop passes has been something that has plagued this Eagles offense throughout the season. And that would have been a huge opportunity missed had he not have been able to hang on to that one.
So that's been said about Garcia not looking in the direction of L.J. Smith. Hits him for a big one there, 27 yards to the Giants' 36. And now Westbrook brought down by Wilson with a 5-yard run. So now here are the Eagles answering, coming right back down the field. Clock continues to run as we approach 4 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, this Eagles offense overall today has done a pretty good job as far as moving the football. You know, like the Giants, they just had, whether it be penalties or turnovers or other mistakes that have just kept them from being able to capitalize more than what they have.
Eagles are averaging 5.5 yards per carry as the pass is caught by Brown. He has a first down. Got out of the grasp of R.W. McQuarters and went forward for a 10-yard completion and 3:45 left. The clock will stop with a ball at the 21.
Well, Jeff Garcia given some time and then just putting it right into the stomach there of Reggie Brown, but you've got to be able to make that tackle if you're R.W. McQuarters.
It would be a 39-yard field goal try from here, well within the range of David Akers. Down by 1. Handoff is to Westbrook. And a good play by Wilkinson, the rookie, coming down to make the tackle, a gain of 2. We look at the NFC East and not just the division, but the overall record. And 2 teams 7-6, 2 teams 3-1 within the division, both with better records than the Dallas Cowboys, who reside at the top at 9-5.
Well, I tell you what, to me anyway, if you're a playoff team and you're in this position and you're the New York Giants defensively, you step up and you start making a play right here.
2nd and 8. Garcia pump fakes. Brown, end zone, touchdown. But a penalty flag is down back where Garcia let it go. Touchdown Brown, and it looks like the call is against the Giants. We'll get it from Jerry Austin.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 72 of the defense. The touchdown is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
It's Osi Umenyiora, guilty of the personal foul as he roughed up Jeff Garcia, who threw the touchdown to Reggie Brown.
Just enough of a shoulder move there, and Reggie Brown goes right by R.W. McQuarters for the touchdown. R.W. McQuarters never saw the fake because he was locked up man-to-man with Reggie Brown. The fake by Garcia had no impact on McQuarters, but Reggie Brown did. He just ran right by him.
And now another 2-point try for the Eagles. They attempted one, made it, but it was called back on a penalty against Westbrook. Play action from Garcia, rolling, throwing, and completing to L.J. Smith. And with that, the 2-point conversion is good, and it's 29-22.
Well, what a great drive there for the Philadelphia Eagles. Taking the ball right down the field and getting the touchdown. And if you're the New York Giants, you got to be highly disappointed in the way your defense just went out and played.
Well, and now if you're the New York Giants, you turn your attention to Eli Manning and see what he can do to answer, as Garcia makes it 1 for 1 on 2-point tries for the Eagles this season, and he goes to L.J. Smith for the 2 points to make it a 7-point game.
Well, and ultimately these games then come down to the quarterback and whether or not he is going to be able to make plays. And in a lot of ways, that's very unfair. I think you look back to 2 weeks ago when they played the Dallas Cowboys. Eli Manning took him down the field and was able to tie the game up. The defense relinquished the lead, and they ended up losing that game. And now here in this 4th quarter, again, Eli Manning takes him down the field after the interception by Will Demps, only to have the defense unable to hold it.
You see the Giants with their 2 timeouts left. Just under 3 minutes to play, and Akers will kick it away from the 45-yard line, right through the back of the end zone. So Manning and this Giants offense will start at the 20. This January, the Tostitos Bowl Bash comes to Fox, beginning with the AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic, followed by the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the FedEx Orange Bowl, the Allstate Sugar Bowl, and concluding with the Tostitos BCS National Championship game between Florida and Ohio State. The Tostitos Bowl Bash begins New Year's Day right here on Fox. Blitz from the Eagles. The ball is up in the air, and it is picked off. Cole the other way into the end zone for the touchdown. Jim Johnson dialed up the blitz. Sheldon Brown knocked it into the air, and it was big Trent Cole who picked it off and rumbled for the touchdown.
Yeah, and Eli Manning never saw the blitz coming to his front side. Looked like Sheldon Brown was the guy who was coming off the edge and made the hit.
So this Giants team, which rallied from a 24-7 deficit in the fourth quarter the last time these two teams met in Philadelphia, have watched the Eagles score 2 touchdowns with a 2-point conversion mixed in to take a 14-point lead. So now Eli Manning will have to go back to work, and Troy highlights Sheldon Brown coming on the blitz.
Yeah, here Sheldon Brown just came right through that right side, and Eli Manning not really feeling it until right there at the last minute, but it was too late. That's why the ball went straight up into the air. And as you see, Tiki Barber trying to knock the ball down and avoid the interception. He was just unable to get a hand on it.
Tiki Barber whiffed. Couldn't judge it coming down, and Sheldon Brown with a hug for his defensive coordinator, Jim Johnson.
Yeah, and Jim's probably in need of a lot of hugs after the way that defense has played here in recent games. But what a great job that defense did there finally, you know, after weeks and weeks of not being able to get pressure, for Sheldon Brown to be able to come and get pressure on Eli Manning to force the interception. You know, Jim Johnson, whenever the game's on the line, he, as a defensive coordinator, likes to bring pressure as he did on that last play.
Now it's Ward. Giants need a good return from Ward. And they don't get it. Forced out at the 22. Don't forget, Fox's football coverage does not end when the games are over. Afterwards, stick around for the OT live from New York. I'll be joined by Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, and we'll bring you exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and a look ahead to next week's action. The OT, presented by Lowe's, is coming up right after football, only on Fox. See some of the finals. There's a shocker with Washington winning at New Orleans 16-10, and the Bears clinching home field advantage with their overtime win over the Buccaneers. On 1st and 10, the Giants handed off to Tiki Barber. Out to the 30, picked up 7. Quentin Michael on the tackle for the Eagles. And the Giants need a quick score, then an onside kick as they trail by 14. Manning over the middle. Shockey, first down, New York.
Yeah, they're going to need to get some big chunks. You know, down 14 points, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. They're going to, you know, the Eagles are going to be willing to give up those 10, 15-yard throws. They just don't want to give up anything quick.
Manning out of the shotgun, lets it fly, and the pass is incomplete. Lito Shepherd almost came back for the interception. The blitz by Sheldon Brown. The ball up for grabs. Barber whiffed on it. Cole did not. In for the touchdown, and the Eagles lead by 14. 2-minute warning.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
3 screens, wireless, broadband, and TV are coming together. Another innovation from AT&T, helping you make the most of your world. The passion to invent, the drive to deliver. The new AT&T. Your world, delivered.
Brunch, $30.
Hey, that's okay, Wendy. That was a good carry. You're still the man. You're the man.
Latte, $4.
Shake it off, Johnny. Rub some dirt on it.
New piano, $3,000.
All right, guys. They're not saying boo. They're saying movers.
Supporting your team, priceless.
Sorry, Bobby. You still got the best arm in the neighborhood.
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
This is decaf, right?
The Brave Eagles fans are here at Giant Stadium with their Dawkins jerseys on. They are spread amongst this crowd. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Pam Oliver, Richie Zients, Artie Kempner, and a 14-point Philly lead. Minute 55 to go. Burris trying to make a move, and a nice tackle by Rod Hood. Out in space, a gain of 5, and the Giants are not going downfield.
Well, and I'll tell you, Jim Johnson, even up 2 possessions, he's still bringing Brian Dawkins on the blitz and playing one-on-one outside on that last play.
Manning over the middle, looked like he had his arm hit. Jaquay Thomas was coming and had pressure. Pass incomplete for Shockey. Meanwhile, it's 4th and 5.
Well, the Eagles, they have done a good job here in this second half of at least disrupting Eli Manning. Not always getting there for the sack, but they've done enough in terms of disrupting him and not allowing him to get into any kind of comfort level and deliver the ball effectively down the field.
Right now, the Giants need a first down. 4th down and 5. Manning steps up and fires, completes it to Shockey. Into Philadelphia territory, and a timeout taken. 1 left now for the Giants. A minute 20 remaining. A 9-yard completion to Jeremy Shockey.
You see Jim Johnson, he's not happy about that at all. This guy's he's a competitive guy, as all the coaches are in the National Football League. And you know, I know that he's going to go home tonight much happier about the way this defense has played, but knowing that there's still going to be room for improvement and that play is going to have to continue as they move through the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and you look at the records. Dallas on top at 9 and 5. Philadelphia trying to get to 8 and 6, and the 2 teams meet next week in Dallas. And again, if Philadelphia can win that game, they've got their destiny in their own hands and can win the division.
Well, and you be sure and ask Jimmy Johnson on the OT whether or not the Eagles have a chance at making the playoffs now.
Oh, don't worry. That will be brought up. Manning throws, and Burris makes the catch, sliding at the 30. By the way, Seibert is back in the game for the Giants, so that's good news. He sprints downfield along with the rest of the offensive line as we approach 1 minute left. Manning backpedaling as he throws to Shockey, who gets hit by Michael and then pops right back up. Dawkins and Quentin Michael. And Shockey could not hang on for the catch.
No, and this is the ball that just got away from Eli Manning. Good route there by Jeremy Shockey, taking the middle. But a ball behind him, and he took a pretty good lick on the back end of that one.
And let's say this, while we focused a second ago on just the NFC East, whoever wins this game, Philadelphia will take a timeout as Dawkins was banged up. They are very much in the driver's seat in the wild card race because it was basically a lost day for those teams right on the edge of battling for a wild card spot in the NFC. We'll give you a recap. Brian Dawkins has had another big game, as he did last week. One of the best safeties still in the National Football League. Westbrook, a 28-yard touchdown run. Demps, a forced fumble and an interception. The last offensive touchdown from Garcia to Reggie Brown, and then a defensive score. Trent Cole on the deflected pass into the end zone to make it a 14-point game. And the Giants can't get Michael Strahan back on the field quick enough. Maybe next week, but who knows? He is missing his 6th straight game today. 14 points for the Eagles off the 4 Giants turnovers. Big story in this game. 2 picks by Manning. They've gone 2 straight games without an interception. Asante Shenko is forced backward after a completion of 4 yards, and Dawkins right back into the middle of it makes the play for Philadelphia. Dawkins is everywhere.
You know, you keep wondering when he's going to slow down each year as he gets older, but it just doesn't happen.
Pass complete to Carter. He's short of a first down, but time is running out on the Giants, and so are these fans. It's 4th down for New York, 20 seconds left. The game is being produced by Richie Zients, directed by Artie Kempner. Steve Horn, our editorial consultant. The technical producer is Joe Stevens. Technical director is Rich Basili. The audio mixer is Fred Aldis. Associate directors are Greg Scopatoni and Derek Manning. Production coordinator Francisco Contreras. Broadcast associates are Zach Fields and Rich Gross. Coordinating producer of the pregame show is Scott Ackerson. The producer Bill Richards. And the director is Bob Levy. Studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons, and the senior producer of Fox Sports, Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorn and David Hill.
Joe, I don't know if you got into it or not, but now, you know, thinking back to last night's game with Dallas beating Atlanta, I mean, that really helps the New York Giants. It's amazing, but I believe I'm accurate in saying they still will control their destiny even after the loss here.
You are correct. Because of the head-to-head tiebreakers they have. They beat Atlanta earlier in the season. Here's a conversion on 4th down to Shockey. And Manning, with under 10 seconds to go, will clock it. But you're right. The Giants have defeated Carolina. They've defeated Atlanta. And even with a loss here today, will be 7-7. And they'll have a chance, winning their last 2 games, to get right into the playoffs as a wild card team.
That's right. And the team that everyone thought would kind of fall by the wayside, the Philadelphia Eagles, now they're starting to play pretty good football. We just saw Jeff Garcia hugging Marty Morningwig, and you know, that is one of the reasons why he is here. And Andy Reid smiling for maybe the first time in a couple years.
Been that long.
Well, I know he hasn't been smiling a lot this year.
2nd and 10. Manning to the end zone out of the reach of Burris. Burris called out these defensive backs to a point, believing he could have a big day against the secondary. You know, have number 20 lurking back there. Watch out. And for Plexico, he has had a big day. A couple of long completions, only 6 catches, but 120 yards, no touchdowns. He got a 52-yard completion earlier in this game.
You know, when you think about the 2 interceptions that Eli Manning had, you know, the one with Sheldon Brown that ultimately ended the game, and the one that where he hit off Mike Patterson's helmet.
Tiki Barber underneath. That'll do it. Quentin Michael on the stop, and Andy Reid and the Eagles and Jeff Garcia. And this defense led by Jim Johnson comes into Giant Stadium and beats Eli Manning and the New York Giants. And that's how the NFC East looks. 9-5 Dallas, 2nd place Philly, and the 2 meet next week. Then the 7-7 Giants. Their playoff destiny still well within their hands with 2 weeks to go. Chris Rose on the other side of the break, then the OT presented by Lowe's, as we say so long for a moment from Giant Stadium.